Guys, welcome back to another Sports Stuff podcast number 3. Back with me and Aaron. Aaron, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing swell right off that 11-hour workday.
Good.
We got what you gotta do though. Today
Yep.
we got a lot of fun topics. I got obviously Nick's picks, Aaron's top 10, bottom 5. We also got
hmm
my 2023 wide receiver rankings for the draft.
Ooh.
Where does Odell sign and how effective will he be? Buy, sell, hold on projected starting quarterbacks around the league.
Cool.
Sadly, Kyler Murray did tear his ACL, so that'll be a topic.
Mm.
And then, Aaron, what's gonna be the last topic we're talking about today?
We're gonna talk about mobile quarterbacks, the future or failure of the league.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm excited to get to that topic. But first, reactions to the Week 14 of the NFL. Thursday nights, I will admit, I watched 2 drives of that game, and it was the 2 best drives of the game.
Yeah.
I only watched when Baker went in, and I watched when Baker won. So that's the only 2 drives of the entire game I watched. So I can talk about those 2 drives. But did you watch the game on Thursday?
I watched a portion of it. Me and my wife were out to dinner that night. We had a date night, and so
Loser.
it was on in the background. And yeah, it was a good game. Baker struggled for parts of it, but from coming off a plane a day before and then going out and having the performance that he did, it was definitely very impressive. And the Rams kind of looked like the Rams for the first time that the Rams have looked like the Rams this season. So it was a good game.
Yeah, without Cooper Cup and Matt Stafford, they looked pretty decent.
hmm
Again,
They did.
I will always be a Baker Mayfield denier. I think he's a serviceable quarterback at best. I don't see him as a franchise. But again, the Rams went to a Super Bowl with a serviceable quarterback in Jared Goff.
They did.
And I'll be honest, they won a Super Bowl with a above average quarterback. I don't think Matt Stafford
hmm
played the best last year.
He wasn't in the playoffs. He was borderline elite.
But like the regular
Uh,
season, when they went to like what
Regular
13-3.
season, he was learning a new system and stuff though, so I give him a pass. I would like to see him come back next year and have a full season knowing the system. We'll see if that's able to happen. But yeah, it was a good
Yeah,
game.
yeah,
I'm really Baker is him
I'm
if he
100%.
continues playing like that.
This is the problem, man. This is what Baker does every single year. He like loses
I know.
almost every game, and then he has this
Yeah,
big like, oh my lord, he is the best quarterback right now,
yeah.
and then immediately right back to where he was. It's a whole meme on Brown's Twitter of a circle saying like, you guys are here where he has a big game
Yeah.
and you're buying into him. Next week he's
Mm,
gonna lose, and
don't
right back it's a
don't buy into
circle.
him.
No,
I'm not bought into him, but if I said keyword in that last sentence, if he continues playing like he is him.
yeah.
But
It's still a good game. I thought it was a good game. I'm happy the
mhm,
2 drives I watched were good. Uh,
yeah,
Next is the Buffalo Bills and the New York Jets. Bills defeat them 20-12. The Bills have looked human the last couple of weeks. It was
yeah,
really them and the Eagles beginning the season. Like even I'd say even the Chiefs are out of the
yeah.
picture, and now
hmm
it really is just the Eagles are the best team in the NFL.
Yeah, it definitely I think the Eagles have slid into that spot. They're still not my Super Bowl pick, but I think they're too young of a team to run the table this year. But um the Bills have looked similar to the Vikings. The Vikings were a super hot team early in the year, and then they kind of limped through, and then they kind of finally caught up to this week. We'll talk about that in a minute with their teams, but the Bills are kind of similar. They're kind of stumbling into wins instead of actually finishing them out.
Yeah,
But
I agree. It just feels like they're not. Something's missing. Now,
yeah, for sure,
is that something Cole Beasley? Who knows?
it
But
could be. Is it
that's missing
OBJ?
something. I think with
Yeah,
the signing of Cole Beasley, 2 of the 3
yeah.
teams that wanted him both signed wide receivers. I think it's the
hmm
Giants now. I think the Giants are the favorite.
I think
That
the
or
Giants are the
nobody.
favorite. Are the Giants even? Are they even still in the playoff hunt?
They are tied with the Commanders at the 7th seed. I believe they're 7 right now. And they're
Okay,
tied with the Commanders.
okay, they're tied for this seventh. OBJ's going to a playoff team.
Yeah.
So if they aren't in the playoffs, then no, they're not the favorites.
Vikings. I've been saying it. Vikings need to make a call. They need to make a call. I think the Vikings they need that little thing to get over the hump.
Yeah,
Because I mean they just lost to the Lions. As much as I love the Lions, that's a
yeah,
winnable game. It was a winnable game from the beginning.
it was.
They should have won. Like as much as I say
They
I
made a
really
lot of
wanted
mental
it.
errors.
Yeah, like you can't let Jared Goff go for 3 touchdowns You can't let Justin Jackson,
It was nice for
who
my fantasy team, but
oh yeah, it was awesome for me. I mean, Justin Jefferson, he didn't have a touchdown, but he had
yeah.
223 yards. Like it was an awesome game
Mhm.
day for me. Are you in the playoffs or are you in the toilet
No,
bowl? Ah, let's go.
I'm in the
I'm in the
toilet bowl.
playoffs. I'm in the playoffs.
I missed it by 1 game.
Ooh, that's the
Yep.
worst. That's the
Yep.
worst when you miss it by one
I'm the
game.
lead of the toilet bowl though. I'm
That's
first
fair.
seed in the toilet bowl, but
Yeah. Next is the Ravens and the Steelers. The Ravens maintain their number one in the AFC North. Uh,
Mhm.
Lamar, is he coming back this season at all? The Steelers, they are suck, bad
Is
team.
that yeah? Is he? Is it official he's not coming back?
I mean, he didn't come back this week. He's still questionable for Week 15. Um,
Last I heard, he was like guaranteed for the playoffs, but questionable for the regular season.
that's what I remember as well. Let me see.
Yeah,
Week 15. He is out Week 15.
he's
He's
definitely
he's
out
already
this week,
he's
like
already
this
he's already
upcoming
pronounced
week.
out. Yeah, he's already
Oh
pronounced out
yeah.
on Tuesday.
Um, and then last I looked, he was questionable for the Christmas week of season games.
But without Lamar Jackson, can the Ravens make a serious playoff push? Can they
I don't think
maintain?
with Lamar Jackson they can make a serious playoff push.
Well, can they at least maintain the number one seed and get a home playoff game? Because can Tyler Huntley, and I guess Tyler Huntley is playing next week. He's back from injury. If can Tyler
Right.
Huntley, who last year was
Yeah.
amazing in the 4 or 5 game stint he played,
Hmm.
can he maintain the boat and keep that number one in the AFC North, or can the Bengals overtake them eventually?
I think the Bengals will overtake them just because the Bengals have been real hot. Um, but not a knock on them. When you go for a quarterback, you're a backup quarterback. You're looking for a guy that can win you a game. You're looking for a guy that, if your quarterback goes down, he can win you one or two, at least be even. That's what Jacoby Brissett did this year. That's what looks like Baker's going to do for the Rams. Like that's what a backup's supposed to do. I think he can do that. I think he's talented enough to do that, but I still think the Bengals are actually going to win that division.
Yeah, that was everyone's take before the season was the Bengals gonna at least come back and win a
Yeah,
division. And speaking of the
yeah, that's
Bengals,
who I had.
yeah, speaking of the Bengals, they had 23-10 over the Browns. I
Hmm.
swapped my pick right before it happens,
You did.
uh, and I'm happy I
I
did
convinced you.
because man, Deshaun Watson, he looked better, still not the same.
Yep.
Nick Chubb for the last 3 weeks has been
He's hurt. I'm telling you, there's something wrong with him right
yeah
now.
he has been
It's not come
abysmal.
out.
He has been
Yeah,
abysmal the last 3 weeks. Um, DPJ
he's
though,
not running with power.
no, not at all. He's running
Yeah,
scared. Donovan
yeah.
Peoples Jones had his best career game. He had 10 targets, 8 receptions for 114 yards. David Njoku on his game back had a great game. But it's Joe
Hmm.
Burrow. It's the story is Joe Burrow. It's the story is that defensive line. Just
Hmm.
all around, the Bengals are playing amazingly right
Yeah,
now.
it's not Deshaun that's losing you guys these games. It's definitely the supporting cast. And for a guy that's rusty, you should be supporting him way more than what they're able to be doing.
Well, this has been the problem all season, which is why I'm so shocked Jacoby Brissett played so well. Is that
Yeah,
like if we had a top half of the league defense
yeah.
and Cade York
Which
didn't
you should
miss.
have on paper. You have
No,
that.
it's Joe Woods. It is Joe Woods. I'm sorry. Like yes, the last 2 games they've been really good, but we're not doing the same crap we did last year. For the last 4 or 5 games, we had a top 5 defense. We kept Joe Woods.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Hmm.
We've lost 3 or 4 games this year because of our defense.
He'll be
Like in the
fired at
last
the
in
end
the
of the
last
season.
2 minutes of the game, so he's got to be gone. But
Well, there's questions about Stefanski, which is crazy. If there's questions about Stefanski, there's definitely questions about Joe Wood. He'll be gone by the end of the season.
yeah, I think it's already known. Like, dude, what you're doing now, you're just coaching for your next job. Like, you're done
Yeah.
here. We gotta have some kind of culture change.
It has to go real bad for a coach to be fired mid-season. It's mostly a morale issue at that point if someone goes bad during the season. It's where I don't want you around our young players
Yeah,
anymore, is what has to
and
happen.
I
I
don't think
don't
I
think
don't think
he's to
he's so.
that point.
No, he's not that bad.
Yeah.
It's just that the
It
scheme he runs does not work with our players. It's okay.
no.
I think it'll be a mutual moving on point.
Yeah,
Uh,
I agree.
Next is the Cowboys Texans. The Cowboys won
They look
with
mediocre.
14 seconds remaining they were losing until 14 seconds remaining on the clock when Zeke runs in for a touchdown.
Cowboys found a way to win. Dak looked pedestrian.
Yeah, I can't believe the Texans even are trying.
They're holding that they played close every like. You got to give Lovey Smith a pat on the back, man. He was handed one of the worst rosters in the league, and he's actually kept them competitive this year. Not record wise, but he's been in pretty much all of their games. But I mean, the Cowboys won, and they should have won that game. And so
They were just hoping for a more secure fashion.
defend it, yeah. And that's it's the Cowboys were what the Cowboys are. They're not a team that's gonna blow you away in the playoffs. I don't think they're making a conference championship. They might win one in the wild card, and that's what they are.
Yeah, speaking of
They performed as
teams,
what they were.
yeah, speaking of teams that are performing as they were and blowing teams out, the Philadelphia Eagles
Hmm.
blew out the New York Giants 48 to 22. It was really like 48 to like 15 the entire
Yep.
game, and then they scored a late game touchdown.
Yep.
I sold the New York Jets playoff push.
Hmm.
When we did that our
You
first
did.
week, I immediately said
Hmm.
this is a first half of the season team.
Yep.
I don't trust Daniel Jones down the stretch. And guess
Nope.
what? Their first half of the
They
week,
have.
first half of the
Yep.
season, don't trust Daniel Jones.
No. And I don't think it's just Daniel Jones. I think it's this team, but they have a very talented coach. This happened with us and Matt Nagy, and I still consider Matt Nagy a good coach. It just ran bad and with the Bears. His first season, we went 12-4 and we made a playoff push and actually ended up winning our division and was in the wild card. But towards the end of the year and into the playoffs, he ran out of schemes to make Trubisky look good. Similar things, I think the Giants are now running out of plays to kind of smoke and mirrors. Teams are starting to get enough film on them now that they know what they are.
Yeah, Anthony Richardson would be a really cool, interesting pick to them in the second round. Just because he's all the
Yeah.
tools that Josh Allen was, and Brian Dable, we now know what he can do with a
Mm-hmm.
big arm, athletic quarterback. I think that'd be an interesting pick for
100%.
them. But
Mm-hmm.
I just think the Giants, man. I'm very happy I sold. I'm very happy that at the beginning of the season I said the Eagles would be one of
Yeah.
the best teams in the NFL.
And that's kind of where I had them this year. I think they have a bright future. I think they found their coach finally, but they need to find their quarterback now.
Yep.
I don't think Daniel Jones is it.
They have half the formula.
Yep.
Next is the Jaguars Titans. A little bit of an upset. Uh, the Jaguars won 36 to 22. I think the upset is in how badly the Titans lost is where the upset really comes in. If they would have
Yeah.
lost by like 3 to 7 points, okay, they lost. But this is a blowout. This is a straight up
It
two
was.
two possession
Yeah.
win.
Hmm. No, and the Jaguars were coming into this game very hot, and the Titans were coming in very cold. So it doesn't surprise me. I actually picked the Jaguars this week. Um, I really like what their head coaching staff has done there in Jacksonville. Um, they've done a really good job with Trevor Lawrence and really have flipped that team around. I think they have a really bright future, and the Titans don't impress me in any way, form, or fashion. Their coach is above average. Maybe I'm starting to question that even. But you guys got to get a quarterback. You guys got to get a quarterback. You cannot rely on Derrick Henry to just carry you through the games. It just doesn't work anymore.
The thing is, I believe they're still in the lead for the division. I don't know what their record is. Tennessee Titans. They are 7-6, so they are technically still in the lead for the division. So you can't bench
They
Ryan
probably will
Tannehill.
still win.
Yeah, they can't bench Ryan Tannehill because
No, he's not a bad quarterback. That's
but
the thing. He's never been bad.
if I had like a 5-8, 4-9 record, Malik Willis
Yeah.
for the rest of the season. I want to know what I have in him,
Mhm.
but you can't do that. You're winning still. Yes, you lost this week, but you are still technically above 500 in the lead for the division. So
I
you
would
gotta look.
100%. Yeah. I would 100%. I think you do a full college practice scheme, which what they do in college is they get both quarterbacks starting reps
And
and they
Ryan
see which
Tannehill doesn't
both
need
of
it
their,
anymore. Tannehill doesn't need it. He
yeah.
knows what he knows what's going on.
I would split it a little bit just so you can see what you have still in Tannehill because it goes week by week, year like no quarterback in this league, it doesn't matter if you're Tom Brady or Josh Allen, is going to be the same week by week. You just don't know. And so I would still give him, a few reps here and there, but I would start really giving Malik Willis some starter reps. And if he's performing a little bit below or the same as him, then I would throw him in there. I, I don't care if you're playing for the playoffs. You're not winning a Super Bowl this year. You're not, and you have to know that. Like, there's no way that their office and their coaching staff thinks that, yeah, we can catch fire and make it. They know that they're not winning a Super Bowl this year. Put the rookie in, see what you have, and if you don't have it, go and get a quarterback in the draft this year.
Yeah, I think their window closed. I think their Super Bowl window closed.
I don't think it's closed for the next 5, 10 years. I don't think they're
No,
full
I'm saying this current
like rebuild.
iteration, of the Titans, it's closed. It's
Yeah,
gone. There is no chance of them winning a Super Bowl with Ryan Tannehill at quarterback,
no.
Derrick Henry at running back, these wide
I
receivers,
think
this
Derrick Henry could
defense.
still win one in Tennessee. Um,
That's what I'm saying.
but they're
Unless they do a
just
massive
current roster.
shakeup.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, unless they do a
Yeah,
massive shakeup, brand new offensive defensive coordinator.
yeah,
Like unless they do something crazy, they are not winning a Super Bowl. They might make a deep
no,
playoff run again. For some reason, the
no,
Titans always make a deep playoff run.
they do. They're always in it,
So like, I just don't
and
think they can do the. They can't win
that's
the
just a
big one.
testament to their coach, Mike Vrabel. He's a good coach.
I don't know.
But
Last week you were saying you didn't like him. Now you're saying you like him. What?
I said no. I said I don't believe in him at this moment. What he's done with his team. This is a playoff team, and they're not performing at that. They just lost to the Jaguars.
Yeah.
Like, it's just to the point where it's like I think he's a good coach, but you need a quarterback, and so Tom Brady's a free agent this
No,
year.
no, no. We're moving on now.
Huh?
I'm not interested. No, we're moving on now. Chiefs beat the Broncos. The Broncos almost won that game, man. If Russ doesn't get hurt, they win the game. They win the game. I stand by it. If Russ does not get hurt, he wins, which is insane to say. 34-28, but it was like what? It was like 27. Oh, what was it? It
Yeah.
was 27-21 when Russ got hurt.
Hmm.
And they score a touchdown, and the Chiefs score a
Hmm.
touchdown, and then it's over.
Yeah.
But it was Russ would have won that game. I stand by it.
Or Russ would have lost them that game. You mean?
I mean,
Um.
they already lost the game.
Yeah.
He threw three
Yeah.
touchdowns that game, and
He
he was
was
their
doing a
leading
good game. It
rusher.
was a good
And he was
game.
their leading
Yeah.
rusher.
Dude, Russell Wilson has something to play for. He's playing for his dignity. He's playing for his pride. The Broncos do not, though.
He's
But
playing for his bathrooms. That's what he's playing for. He's got to
yeah,
outscore his bathrooms.
what's he at now?
11.
Touchdowns.
He has 11,
11.
and
He's
there's
got
12.
12. He needs
He
one
has
more
one more to tie.
to
One more to
tie.
tie.
One more to push.
Man,
Uh,
what a great series on TikTok that is, man. I love it.
it's such a great series.
But yeah, I think the Chiefs are fine. Whatever, they're fine.
Yep.
Patrick Mahomes, how many interceptions has he thrown this year? I'm interested. He has thrown 11 interceptions this year.
It's not horrible.
For Patrick Mahomes?
Well, yeah, for Patrick Mahomes, I'm saying for an NFL quarterback
No.
without his.
No,
Remember,
yeah, yeah.
he lost his top.
He's
He
still 3
lost
to
his
1.
top guy.
It's still a 3-to-1 touchdown ratio. You're good. Like he's not like there's no,
Yeah,
it's been great. I agree. But he's still on
but
pace for almost
especially
the
for someone that lost his top guy. That's what people forget. He lost his top guy, and he's an MVP candidate.
Well, he is the MVP. He is the MVP. There's no one else.
Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow, I would throw in that conversation,
I'd
but
say Jalen
he's
Hurts.
probably the leader.
I don't think they're gonna give
I
it to
think
Jalen Hurts
I think
though.
the betting favorites is going to be Jalen Hurts. I think he'll be the betting favorite, and then I think the safe pick, which the NFL likes their safe picks, would be Patrick Mahomes.
I just don't think they could give it to him with Jalen Hurts. I'm not gonna lie. I think he deserves it. But like they love
I think he
Patrick Mahomes.
deserves it.
They love Patrick
They
Mahomes.
do, but they do like new.
They so
And
badly want to give him an MVP because then he'd be a two-time MVP, one-time Super
yeah,
Bowl and Super Bowl MVP, all by the age of 26 or 27.
yeah,
Like they
they would
want
want to
that
give it the
storyline.
voters because it's 100% writers that vote for the
Yeah.
MVP. It's completely rigged.
But
Um,
they want that storyline so bad that
but
he is on
you
pace
can
to be the
only
GOAT.
to a certain point. If I think if Jalen Hurts plays the rest of the season, then he might win it. Um, where's he at stat wise? Yeah,
He,
I don't think you can give it to Jalen. I'm looking at he's only got 3,100 yards.
Well, let's not compare yards, okay? Patrick
No,
Mahomes
but
is
it's different. It's a
insane.
different offense.
Yeah,
It's a
Patrick
different offense.
Mahomes is
100%. It's
insane this year. He's on pace for
yeah,
almost 6,000 yards. We don't
but
talk
22
about
touchdowns,
yards.
only 3 interceptions though. He's done good in the touchdown to interception ratio.
Yeah, I think it is a conversation, especially if they
Yeah,
if they go 16-1, 15-2, he's in the
yeah.
conversation. But
I think he's in the conversation. I think Patrick Mahomes. My pick for MVP right now is Joe Burrow.
no,
That's my pick. That's
no,
who I would vote.
I can't
Dude,
back
he
it.
you don't have to back it. That I'm saying my vote. I didn't say your vote. Your vote's Patrick Mahomes. Go ahead, take your safe bet.
I am taking a
I
safe
want
bet.
to actually do who I think the actual MVP is, and that I think is Joe Burrow.
It's Jamar Chase.
But
That offense is nothing without Jamar Chase. Anyway,
good point.
next is the Panthers upset. That was an upset. Panthers beating the Seahawks. That was an
That was
upset.
the upset. That was
That
there was the upset.
never would I have thought the Panthers would be on a winning streak, and like five of the last six or something, or three of the last four they've won. Good on the Panthers.
Yeah, I had to take him out of my bottom five. Like that's a little bit of a spoiler for later, but
I mean, it
when
sucks
you're on a
because like
playoff run,
man,
it's like
they're not getting a quarterback this year. It's not happening.
no,
It's not happening. It's gonna be Sam
no,
Darnold on a 2-year team-friendly deal. It's a prove-it deal. It's a prove-it deal. Shut up.
no. It's
Sam Darnold is not a starting quarterback in the NFL. Stop acting like
no.
he is, please.
He if he I still believed when he went to Carolina that he was. I
Well, he
thought it
had a
was the
great run
system in New York.
last
He
year. He had a
did.
great run last year before he got hurt.
He had yeah before he got hurt, and then this year it's been up and down. You brought in Baker. You brought in too much drama. You need a quarterback. But yeah, no, they've been on a good run. Seattle, they kind of showed who they were. I think again, it's a lot of smoke and mirrors and a good head coach that has brought them to this point. But
Yeah, no one is saying Gino is the reason they're good. It's that Gino's playing
no,
his system in Pete Carroll's offense. It's
Gino and his
Jalen.
agent. I don't know if you've heard this.
No, I
They're
haven't.
asking for 20 million, which is like when quarterbacks are making 35, 40 a year, he's asking 20 million on a
That's not
2-year
bad.
deal.
That's not
That's
bad.
that's so that dude, I'm telling you right. That's what I'm saying.
That's
He's
not
gonna get
bad.
himself a
Two
he's
for
gonna get
40.
himself a starting job for 2 years.
Yeah, 2 for 40. That's not terrible.
That's
Plus, it's not
and
gonna be
then
fully
that's
guaranteed. It'll be like 15
yeah,
million
no.
guaranteed.
There'll be a bunch of incentives in there.
I
That's
I do it.
that
I do it. I do it.
I would too.
I
He's
wouldn't
done
leave
good.
Seattle though. I wouldn't leave Seattle.
No, I wouldn't either.
Because like right now, you're building a legacy of I'm the comeback player of the year.
Yeah.
They wrote me off.
Mhm.
I didn't write back. Like you're on the
Yeah.
comeback story of I'm playing with the Seahawks for the next 2 years, and the Seahawks are gonna get a top pick because the Broncos get Jalen Carter or Will
Mhm.
Anderson Jr. Rebuild that defensive line, stop the run. You get maybe like another wide receiver to pair because Tyler Lockett's getting old. Get another wide receiver. Get because your defense isn't terrible. It's your defensive line that's terrible. Like they're building something special
So
in Seattle.
Nick, I think we're underselling Geno Smith's year a little bit here.
Why?
Uh, if you look at his stats, he's 3,400 yards.
Nice.
All right, that's pretty good. If you go up one spot here on the right, Josh Allen is 3,500.
Dang.
So guy that we were like borderline, oh, he might be an MVP,
No,
has
no,
3,500.
no, no. I never
Not we're
said.
not anymore. We not
No.
anymore. I'm saying beginning of the season.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
Beginning of the season, and that's still very good numbers for
No,
this
it
part of
is.
the
It
year. Like
is.
we yeah, like Patrick Mahomes is having another crazy year because he's Patrick Mahomes, but that's still really good for this point of the season. That's good numbers. Josh Allen has 2,600 or 2,600, 26 touchdowns. Geno has 25.
Wow.
Josh Allen has 11 interceptions. Geno has 8. Josh Allen has a 95 passer rating.
Oh, he is leading the league,
Geno has
isn't
a
he?
106.
Yeah, no, yeah. Isn't Gino leading the league in completion percentage and passer rating?
Yeah.
Dude,
Uh-huh. He has a 70. Dude, he's playing.
I ain't paying him
If
more than
he had
20
another
though. I ain't paying him
No,
more
I
than
ain't
20.
either. I didn't either. But if he had another 300 yards, he'd be MVP conversation right now.
Well, if he was also 4 years younger, I would probably happily pay him more. But isn't he 34
Yeah,
years old? Isn't he like 34?
he's a little older. Let me pull it up. Uh,
He's 32 actually, I think.
32.
He's 32. Yeah.
32.
So he'd be 34 at the
Yeah.
end of the I'm sorry, I'm not signing him to a 2 year, eighty
He's not
million
a
dollar
mobile quarterback
contract.
though. No.
But hey,
What a cool
I
what a
hope
cool
he has the.
story. He should 100% should get comeback player of the year though.
I mean, he is the only person.
You could say Dak.
Saquon.
Saquon and Dak.
Yeah, but I think it no, because Dak already came back last year and played. It's talking about like the previous season to this season. So
Yeah.
Saquon, who else is out? Who else is out?
And he's gotten a rough
Saquon
go
and
of it.
Gino are obviously the number two leads
Yeah.
though. I think if next year if Trey Lance has a good season, he'll win. But I think the Panthers
Yeah.
beat the Seahawks, interesting win, good on them. Next is the
Yeah. I
40.
think
Oh, sorry, you're good.
yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead. Gino's had a rough go at it. We should have a deep dive on him sometime. We need to move on now, but like he got drafted by the New York Jets.
Oh yeah, no,
Horrible situation.
there'll be a whole bunch of talk about Gino this offseason.
Yeah, I think we should definitely do a deep dive on him some point. But yeah, we need to move on.
Next is the 49ers and the Buccaneers, 35-7. Did you see George Kittle's celebration in the end zone?
I do.
Let's go. That was I saw that live because this is a game
Yeah,
that I did watch. I saw it live. I'm like, I don't know if did I just see that?
I turned it off.
And then a minute later, it was all over Twitter. I'm like, this is amazing. But yeah, 40
Dude,
35 to
did you
7.
hear that what's his face, the new quarterback, Brock Pretty, uh went up to Tom Brady and asked for him to sign the ball?
Yeah, and he did, and he did. He's like,
And he did.
we had a really good game, kid. Like apparently
Yeah.
it was a really nice conversation they had, which is crazy. He gets blown out, emotional on the
Hmm.
sideline. Goes, all right, fine, I'll sign your ball. Gosh, every game he's getting berated, dude.
I think he's watching this season with a lot more love goggles because he
Yeah,
realized it's either going to be his last year or second to last year.
yeah.
I think he's enjoying the game a lot more because he doesn't have a wife nagging him that he should retire. So,
Well,
and he's had a good season.
she's with Antonio Brown in a bed now, so it's fine.
Yeah. No, but that's the thing. Tom Brady, the people keep coming out and being like, Tom Brady's done. Tom Brady, he's number 4 in passing this year.
He's always gonna
He's
be
number
high in
4.
passing. He
He's gonna,
always
yeah, but
will.
he's number 4. He's got 17 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. He's had a good year. That's a Pro Bowl year.
No, it's
Like,
not. 17 touchdowns. That's not a Pro Bowl year.
okay, but the season's not over. He'll have 25.
Hmm?
25 touchdowns with 5 interceptions. You're not telling me that's not Pro Bowl with 4,300 yards
But he's
by the
not.
time it's all said and done?
I think Tom Brady should go if he does get voted in.
Yeah,
Like, I want to see Tom Brady in a Pro Bowl. It has been 20 something years since he attended
it's
a
been a
Pro
while.
Bowl because he either
It's
was
been a
in the
while, yeah.
Super Bowl or he didn't want to attend. Tom,
Yeah.
listen, man. If you're scared of the dodgeball challenge, don't play. But man, I want to see him with all these young bucks playing
No, I
some
want to see him in the
dumb.
dodgeball tournament.
I just want to see him at a Pro Bowl game where he has like what? He'd have like what? Justin Jefferson, another NFC
Dude,
wide receiver. Like I want to see
let's
all
watch
these
him go for
people.
like 500 yards,
That's
put
what
him
I
in the starting
want.
spot.
I want
Yeah,
it
it'd be
so
great.
bad. I don't even know who's leading the NFC in votes for wide receiver. But like Justin Jefferson, uh, AJ Brown. Like I want to see Tom
Yeah.
Brady throw into them. But if he does get voted in, he's not gonna go. Next is the Chargers Dolphins. Chargers. I don't think it's an upset. A little bit of a. They definitely beat a better team though. Dolphins have a bad week, 23-17. Tua did get pulled, but apparently they didn't put him back in. Right? Did he get pulled?
Yeah.
Was that last
He
week?
was hurt.
He was hurt.
He was hurt.
I don't think he got pulled though.
No, he was hurt.
But yeah, he did get hurt.
He's dealing with a little bit of an injury, and I think they've realized they weren't gonna really win that game with him being hurt, and so they pulled him.
But yeah, 23-17. Justin Herbert is just a social media quarterback, so I don't think it really
Yeah.
matters.
He's a really good quarterback.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was a good game. I watched part
Oh,
of it. I watched the first half.
I'll watch part of it too.
These primetime
Uh,
games are so boring. I'm sorry. They suck. They suck so bad.
it has playoff implications. I think you have 2 playoff teams there.
Yeah. I mean,
I
the
mean,
Dolphins will be, what, probably the 5 seed in the AFC.
yeah, and I think
The
if
Chargers
they're
might sneak
not
in.
now, They're not now. The Chargers will be the seventh seed, and I think they will actually end up, after what I've seen the last few weeks from them, will actually end up in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be fun finally to see Justin Herbert in the playoffs. So
Yeah, I hope he does.
give him his wide receivers and he can play good.
Yeah.
Then the Patriots beat the Cardinals. Sadly, Kyler Murray will be out for the rest of the season and probably a majority of
Hmm.
next season with his torn ACL. 27 to
Yeah.
13. Mac Jones looks so mad at Matt Patricia. I think he's got to be
Dude,
done with him.
they set him up for failure. They really did this year. I don't know what Bill Belichick was thinking.
Yeah, I don't know either, man. It's crazy to me that they actually are doing this and they're actually letting Matt Patricia ruin their franchise quarterback.
Who was borderline franchise before you got and put Matt Patricia. Like, go out there. You're freaking Bill Belichick. You can't tell me that you couldn't have found a connection from Nick Saban or one of the great other coaches in the college or somewhere else that you couldn't have found a nice young coaching mind. There's no there was better candidates. He went with what's familiar, and it's disgusting.
Yep. The branches came back to the tree.
Yeah, it's disgusting. I hope he learns his lesson this year and actually go gets an actual offensive coordinator now.
Yeah, let's get Nick
I
Saban.
think what they were setting up for a succession plan, and they want to give it to Matt Patricia after Belichick retires, and he doesn't
No,
deserve it.
no, they don't. No, no,
That's what
no.
Bill wants. I'm not saying that's what the Patriots wants. I'm saying that's what Bill wants. Bill wants a successor. He thought it was going to be what's his face that's coaching at the Raiders, Jack
McDaniels.
McDaniels. But he's not going to do it anymore unless he continues playing the way he
No,
is with the Raiders now.
yeah, no. McDaniels will last one more season with the Raiders.
Yeah,
If they don't make the playoffs, he'll get fired, and then he'll come back to
yeah,
the Patriots. Then there'll be like a really good offense again. Then
yeah,
Belichick will say, "Oh, he's the future, guys."
yeah.
But
No, it was they were setting it up to be him. 100%. You can't convince me otherwise. I don't care who else says it. It was 100% going to be McDaniels. They paid him more to stop him from going to the Colts a few years ago. Like, there's no way that they weren't setting him up to be Bill's replacement once he finally does retire.
yeah,
But and then they were rushing, all right, who can we knows our system and knows everything. It's disgusting. They need to just go get a young guy that's real smart and give him the offense coordinator job. Don't go to your coaching tree. Dear Lord, your coaching tree sucks.
yep, it does. I'm shocked that there was no one from Josh McDaniels' staff. Well, I guess he probably took everyone with him. He
He
probably took
took quite
everyone.
a few people with
Yeah,
him, man.
so I guess that's a moot point. But yeah, that is reactions to Week 14 of the NFL games.
Hmm.
Next up is Nick's picks of the week. Starting off with Nick's picks of the week, we have Ravens at Browns. Ravens. I'm done picking the Browns. I'm being realistic. I'm done having any kind of like, oh, they can win this. No, no. Even if it's not, even if Lamar Jackson's left ankle was playing this game, I would just say it's the Ravens. I'm so done with our defense. I will put money on it. Like, I will put actual money that Tyler Huntley will go for 250 yards, 2 touchdowns, 65 yards on the ground, and another touchdown. I will
Hmm.
put good money that their backup quarterback goes for 3 touchdowns and over 300 yards.
Yeah,
Every
your
t-
offensive line is just, it's not good.
yeah, no, in our offense, it's because Ethan Pochik, who was a top 3 center this year,
Hmm.
went out with injury, and Yalti
Yep.
Froholt, who was the third string, because Nick
Hmm.
Harris, who was our starting center, tore his ACL the first play of the regular season.
Yep.
The first play! And Ethan Pochik went in. We were really good with him. Then he has been
Mm.
out since week 10. Don't know what
Yep.
his injury is. He never said what his injury was.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm just done. The Ravens are better than us. It's fine. They're gonna win the
The
division.
Ravens are gonna win.
They're gonna win the division. I stand by that.
Yeah, probably.
Sucks. Sucks.
I have the Bengals winning that division,
I
but
hope they do. I do. I
I
don't.
think they will.
Because I want a different team besides the Bengals to be able to say, haha, you guys suck. I just want
Yeah.
someone else. Again, as I said last year, if when the Bengals do make the playoffs, I'm rooting for the
Yeah.
Bengals. I'm rooting for the Bengals because like
It's such a cool team.
they suck for so many years. So I want them to be good.
Well, the thing was, is they were good for so many years. They just couldn't win playoff games.
So they sucked for so many years, and now I want them to be good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a that'll be a good game, I guess.
I picked the Ravens there too.
Yeah. Next is the Bills versus the Dolphins. I have the Bills
Mm.
winning, But I think this could be like a low scoring game, which I
Yeah.
hate. But I don't think there's gonna be a lot of points.
Yeah, it's a quick turnaround, not like super quick, but it's a Saturday game. Um, I'd pick the Bills here for sure. I think it could either be a blowout or low scoring, which I know that's either you're saying the 50-50 side of the coin there. Uh, but I could see both happening in this game. It depends on who's healthy and how they're performing.
Yeah.
But the
Then
Bills, I'm picking the Bills there.
Yeah, then we got Chiefs versus Texans. I feel like it's gonna be really easy for the Chiefs to win this. Just stack another W in your column so you can try and fight for that one seed that the Bills, I believe, currently hold.
They do.
I believe they still hold it because they won this week.
They did last week and then they won, so I don't know of any math that would somehow knock them out of
I
that.
forgot if they won or lost this week. I couldn't remember.
They
But anyway,
won.
the Chiefs are fighting for that number one seed. They got to stay in it. So I think they get an
Yeah.
easy W right here, hoping for the Dolphins to win. Next is the Chargers versus the Titans. I have the Chargers winning this. I think it's a very winnable game for them. The
Yes.
Titans, their offense isn't good, but Derrick Henry might go for like 200 yards.
Dude, the Chargers defense has not been there, and I don't know why. They also added Khalil Mack to their. I don't know if he's still healthy. I don't know
He
his
is.
status.
No, he's been healthy all season.
Yeah, and he's just been very quiet, and it's real sad because he's a really good run stopper. I know he's known as a sack specialist, but really he wasn't so much a sack specialist with the Bears, but it was really impressive in my opinion, was his ability to stop the run, especially the outside run. He's got some speed to him. We were really good at getting the run against the run when he was there because he was really good at stopping that outside of threat. And then you had other linebackers to stop the middle of the field. But yeah,
And
I
Sebastian
think
Joseph Day, who's one of the best run defending D tackles in the league.
yeah, I think the Chargers win, but I think it's by Justin Herbert's arm, not by their defense
Yeah,
stopping the Tennessee Titans.
yeah. Then a game that's very interesting: the Patriots versus the Raiders. Son against dad. The master taking on his apprentice. Is this like legacy defining? If Josh McDaniels loses this game, it's like, dude, no one can beat Bill Belichick. What is going on? Like, why can no one from his coaching tree do anything?
Matt Patricia beat Belichick.
Oh, never mind. Okay, well, anyway,
Yeah.
I have the Patriots winning. Just I think their defense is very
Um,
good.
I actually disagree with you on this one. I think the
Okay.
Raiders win by blowout.
Oh, blowout.
I think it's blowout. I think he's playing with passion. I think Bill Belichick doesn't care at this point. He gave Matt Patricia an offensive coordinator job. He's not trying to win any NFL games anymore. I don't care who tries to convince me otherwise. He's not trying to win.
Yeah, that's a game I'm now gonna focus on a little bit more because I want to see. Because I didn't
Yeah,
even know that they played each other this season. That's interesting.
that's fun.
So that'll be fun. Then it's gonna be the Colts versus the Vikings. I have the Vikings winning this. The Colts are coming off a bye, but they are the Colts, so I think I'm good with the Vikings.
I like going with teams that are coming off of buys especially when they have good coaches. I think Saturday has good motivation, but I don't think it's going to have good schemes coming in as a first year coach. I have the Vikings here as well.
Yeah. Then a shocker. I am predicting a tie. I think this might be the worst game in the entirety of the NFL season. Steelers at Panthers. I think this is going to be the worst game that we have ever seen in the 2022 to 2023 season. It will be like 6-6. It's going to be terrible. I am predicting a tie for the first time. I've never in my life predicted a tie. I'm doing it.
These two teams deserve a tie.
Dude, I would 100. I would put what I don't even know what the money line is on this game. I'm taking whatever I have to make sure it's a tie. I don't think either one of these teams are gonna win this game, and like you can't convince me that one team's gonna win over
I
the
think
other.
both of these teams are going to actively try, not actually on purpose, just because they suck so bad. They're going to actively look like they're trying to lose.
Yes,
And I think the
dude,
Steelers are going to win,
it's Sam
but
Darnold versus Mitchell Trubisky, or Kenny Pickett. Who knows? You know,
it's Trubisky. It's Trubisky.
oh, is Pickett already in concussion protocol?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. So
he's already in. Yeah, so
it
it's
is
Trubisky.
Mitchell Trubisky versus Sam
Dude,
Darnold in 2022.
okay,
I
I
don't
will tell
care.
you.
It's a tie.
It, Steelers are I give the Steelers the edge only because I trust Trubisky a penny more
That's not a
than
lot.
I trust. I'm betting a penny towards the Steelers,
I would put
not
a whole
anything more.
quarter that we're gonna see a tie, and it's very hard to predict a tie.
Yeah,
I hope this is the one time I ever predict a tie and it's correct. I
that'd
hope
be really
it.
cool.
But yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be like a 6-6 score, maybe nine
yeah.
nine, maybe 9-9.
We
Like
could also just see a complete blowout, like a
yeah,
blowout in scoring and
a random
yeah.
blowout.
But I agree. I think it's going to be a very unwatchable game.
I feel
It
so
might just
bad for
be a
these
super
franchises.
meme game.
These two
Ah,
franchises are the worst possible meetings right now. It's just terrible. Oh my god. Next, this is my upset. This is my upset. I have
all right,
the Jaguars over the Dolphin, the Cowboys. Jags
Cowboys.
over Cowboys. I
That's
think
definitely an upset.
they're on a hot streak. Um,
Yep,
Cowboys coach is Mike McCarthy.
yep.
I will always use that as a reason why they're gonna lose. Um, I just think
He
that this
Poor
Jags team
McCarthy.
is gonna win.
Poor McCarthy. He's put a really good staff together in at Dallas, and he's actually done a good job. But he just can't. If he wins the Super Bowl, it'll shut us all up.
Oh yeah,
But he's not
obviously.
going to.
If you win a Super Bowl,
But
you can't say anything. You can't say anything to Sean McVay.
yeah,
He won a Super Bowl.
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah. I don't think that's a crazy pick though. I don't think that's like an upset. I don't think a lot of people will disagree with you. But it's definitely like stat wise and number wise, I think the betting favorite will still be Dallas.
Oh yeah,
So,
absolutely.
but I might actually agree with you on that one. I think the Jags might win this week.
And you said you think the Steelers will win. Is that what you said?
I said the Steelers will win, and I think the Jags
Well,
will win.
we both know we're both not watching that game, so we just have to look at the box score after, so that's fine. Um, Next is the
Yeah,
Lions at New York Jets. I have the Lions winning.
such a fun game. It's such a fun game.
I think
I
they're
really
winning
hope
out.
Mike White's healthy.
I think the
I
Lions win out. I
really
think
hope
they
Mike
do.
White's healthy. I want to see a Jared Goff, Mike White freaking go at it 400 yards each. I think the Lions win here though too.
What a mid off. The most average quarterback
Hey,
just going for
hey,
400
yeah,
yards.
between quarterbacks, the Lions are not mid. They are Super Bowl caliber right now. And I don't care what
In
anyone else
this
says.
season, Jared Goff is playing amazing this season. No one can
He is.
disrespect him. No
He's
one can
playing for
disrespect
his
him.
job. And he has a gorgeous wife. Have you seen his wife
Yes,
or his
yes,
girlfriend?
I have.
Dear Lord, that
What
man
was
doesn't
it?
have to win anything else. He already won at life.
What was it? It was during the Super Bowl. She wasn't at the Super Bowl, but it was like he scored a
Uh,
touch. Like what was it? I can't remember the video. No, the Lions. It was the Lions when the Lions got their first win last year. She was at a She was at a photo shoot. And she's like, they won, and like she was so excited. Like, oh, that's cute. I'm like, oh, that's why he's dating her. Okay.
yeah,
But yeah, I hope the
that's
Lions
cool.
win this. I want them to win out. I think they will win out. I think they'll make the playoffs.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah,
Next is
Lions
the
win.
next is the Broncos Cardinals. I'm going Broncos. I don't know if Russ is in concussion protocol. I haven't again. I don't know what protocol he's
If
in.
Russ is healthy, I give the edge to the Broncos. If he's not healthy, I still think the Broncos will actually probably win. I was gonna make an argument for the Cardinals, but without your number one player, I don't know if you can really find the way. Is Colt McCoy still their backup?
Yep, and Trace
You
McSorley behind him.
come on, we see throw it on the dime.
Like he isn't even trying.
No,
What a goat.
I don't know. I think the Broncos probably do win this game.
Yeah. Next is a little bit of an upset. I have the Buccaneers beating the Bengals at home. Only because they're at home, I think they'll win this. And they're coming off an embarrassing loss. No
Hmm.
chance Tom Brady lets, after that embarrassing loss, lose again.
No, no. This could have been the Super Bowl last year. It's
Yeah.
crazy to think now that we're at where we're at, but it very easily. I think the Tampa Bay would have won the games that the Rams won after they beat the Buccaneers, and this could have been the Super Bowl matchup.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And now the
I'm
franchises are
picking the
completely
Bengals.
different
I think the
places.
Bengals might win out. I think are playing for the division. Um, and I don't
They're playing
think
for the whole
a
playoffs.
motivated. I don't. Yeah, but I think a motivated Bengals team is definitely better than even a motivated Tampa Bay team. I don't think Tom Brady can will this team to a win.
Yeah. Yeah, this will be an interesting game. Next,
Mm,
I have the 49ers over the Seahawks. Purdy and Geno Smith. If you told me in week 15 that Mr. Irrelevance of the draft and Geno Smith would be battling week 15 for the division, I would say, huh, what happened to the two quarterbacks starting above them that got shot the week before? That's the only reason they'd both be starting, both
yeah,
fighting for the division this late into the season. Uh, it's crazy. I have the
yeah,
49ers winning, though.
yeah. I think the 49ers are too loaded to lose this game.
Well, yeah, they have Purdy. He's constantly loaded. Uh,
Listen, yeah, but I don't care if you threw a guy in there from the stands.
oh,
I
they're
think
winning
the
the game.
49ers would still have. No, I'm not putting this against the Seahawks. I'm just saying
No, the
you could put
Seahawks.
a
No, I'm
guy pretty
saying the
much off the
49ers win the
street.
game. Yeah,
Yeah, just because of how talented they are on every other position.
yeah. You
And
you could put any Joe Schmo in there. They'll at least compete
yeah,
for four quarters.
you could throw freaking Joe Flacco up in there, and they're still a Super Bowl caliber team.
Hey man, he's a free agent this offseason.
Dear Lord, please don't pick him up. Let him retire in peace.
Next, I have the Falcons at Saints. I actually have the Falcons off a bye winning this. Now the Saints are also coming off a bye, but I like the Falcons more than the Saints. And the Falcons are playing for the division. They're still only one game behind in the division.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Uh, I think the Falcons will win. Um, I trust their coach a little bit more than the Saints coach, and I trust the quarterback a little bit more with the Falcons than I do the Saints.
Yeah, I agree. Next is the Giants at Washington. I have Washington winning because again, I don't think the Giants are postseason material, and I think the
Nope.
Washington Commanders
This
that
is
defense will get them
a few,
wins.
yep. A few weeks ago, people were really pushing the Giants, really believing in the Giants, and kind of underselling the Commanders. And I thought it would be three teams coming out of that division, which is crazy to say after what the last few seasons that we've gotten out of the NFC. What or division are they? East.
Yeah,
Um,
NFC least.
but now you're gonna have three teams that I always thought it was gonna be Philly, Dallas, and Washington. Not in that order. That's not the order I would have picked going into the season. But definitely the Commanders, I think, are gonna win this game.
I actually had both the Eagles and the Cowboys in the beginning of the season, both
Hmm.
going 15-2. I
Yeah,
had them
I
both
had
going 15
yeah,
and 2.
I had no faith in the Eagles this year. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna come out and say I predicted I had the Eagles missing the playoffs this year. If barely making it in. I had the Commanders winning this division. And
Not a bad take. Not a bad take.
I'm not ashamed of that because they're 7-5, and I didn't believe in Dallas. So
But this
I
because
had Dallas
this is
probably winning.
September. This is in September. It's
Yeah,
like it's an okay take.
yeah. No, I wasn't mid-season being like Commanders are good. No, that's dumb. After you kind of saw what they were, but yeah, I think the Commanders win this game and end up actually getting that 7th seed or 6th seed, whatever it would be.
Why can I not do this? I was trying to do something. All right. Anyway, moving on. I got the Eagles at the Bears. Eagles. Sorry, but it's the Eagles.
If Justin Je or if Justin Jefferson, if Justin Fields is healthy, I think it will be closer, but the Eagles win. Bears historically have done really well against the Eagles, besides the one double doink.
Oh, that was against the Eagles. Ah,
But other than that, we've really owned them historically. But I just cannot, in good conscience, say that our defense is legitimately going to be able to stop Jalen Hurts. He's going to rush for 200 yards.
yeah.
And,
Sadly, that's what these top elite quarterbacks do. They just are insane.
and even if Justin Fields goes for 100 yards rushing and passing, which he's done consistently this year, crazy enough, the Bears aren't going to do enough to win this game. It's going to be the Eagles.
So I want to try and show this. Okay. So, oh, okay, it's backwards, so it doesn't matter. So my prediction before the season started was Eagles Cowboys 12-5, right?
Yeah,
Washington
that's good.
Commanders 4-13, and the
That's a bad take.
Giants 3-14.
That's a bad take.
I own it.
But
I own
going
it.
into the year, though, going into the year, I understand it, but coming out of the year now, it looks
Oh
like
yeah.
a bad take. But going
Oh
into
yeah.
the year, it's not. It wasn't a horrible
Because you
take.
gotta remember, I don't like Carson Wentz at all. That's my. I don't like
I
him.
do.
I don't.
That's why I had them winning the division.
Yeah, I didn't like Daniel Jones. I thought Saquon would be
Yeah,
okay. I thought Brian Dable would do his best, but yeah,
yeah.
I own that take.
I think I had the Giants at 6-11 or 12, whatever it would be with the now extended. That messes with my brain. Um, and I think I had the Commanders, a little bit above 500 in the cow. I had this division just performing as they have in the past.
Yeah,
They've surprised us this year.
yeah. And last game, I got the Packers beating the Rams. I can't wait to watch Baker Mayfield cry.
I think the Rams win this. I actually think the Rams are going to go on a winning spree here with Baker, and it's going to make Baker look really good at this end of the season to the point where there's a quarterback controversy next year between Stafford and Baker. And then Baker's going to completely pull Baker and look like Baker next season, and Stafford's going to win, and LA fans are going to cry, and it's going to be hilarious, and I'm here for it.
See, I want the Rams to suck because I want the Lions to have a playoff spot and a top five pick.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with what I'm okay with my take being
I'm
wrong.
fine with the Rams losing. I just don't think they will. I think they have too good of a coach, and I think Baker's too serviceable of a quarterback for that team to lose out.
Yeah, I can see him winning out. But that is the
Hmm.
rest of Nick's picks of the week for Week 15 of the NFL season. Moving
Yeah.
on to Aaron's top 10, bottom five.
Yeah, let's go. All right. So for the top 10, there's been some major shakeups and changeups. One team completely fell out. I'll talk about that team real quickly because they did not make the top 10 this week. The Dolphins fell out of the top 10. Um, they've looked mediocre. Tua's hurt. Um, the defense hasn't been performing very well. They've looked bad. They don't deserve to be in a top 10 position right now. Um, so they completely fell out of the top 10 this week. So been some similar teams, but different positions. So we'll start with my number 10 spot. At number 10 this week, we have the LA Chargers. Chargers are making a playoff run. Herbert's been looking at. He's number 2 in passing in the league this year at this point. Um, which is crazy to think about because his wide receivers have been hurt and everything else. Austin Eckler has been performing crazy. I think this team could be a playoff team, and we're seeing that here now. I think they 100% similar to the Lions a few weeks ago, where I was picking them because of heart and because of passion. I think the Chargers deserve to be in this top 10 right now in a ranking. Any thoughts on that, Nick?
No, I mean, I agree with the Dolphins falling out. The Chargers,
Yeah.
10 is really reserved for that team that might might catch fire. That
Yeah.
they won that week and they might catch fire. So I'm fine
Hmm.
with that.
Yeah. I'm not putting them at 5.
Yeah.
I'm not putting them up or closer to the 10, and there's a few teams that fought for that 10th spot. But I think it was the Chargers at 10. Number 9. Number 9 for this week. I don't think the Jets did enough bad this week to fall out of the top 10 or to put them in that 10th spot and the Chargers above them. I have the New York Jets coming in at 9. Um Mike White's questionable for the rest of the year, health-wise. Um, they got a bunch of questions other than that, but they definitely are a Super Bowl roster. They played very well this year. I think number 9 is a good position for them at this point in the year. At number 8, we have Dim Boys coming in at number 8. They fell down from number 6 last week. I don't trust the Cowboys. I bought in a little bit last week because they blew out the Colts, and then they showed the Cowboys who the Cowboys are this week, and we saw who they are. they really need to fix some spots. They need a coach. I really think it's a coaching issue, not a roster issue at this point. Not that Mike McCarthy's done a bad job. I actually think he's done a good job, but it's just at this point, I think they need to move on. And we'll see if they do that this offseason. Any thoughts on those two spots, Nick?
Uh, yeah, same thing with the Titans. I think that the I don't. I mean, you said it's not a roster issue. I think it is
Mm-hmm.
on, especially on defense. I think it is. I
Yeah.
don't think the Cowboys can win a Super Bowl with the
No,
current iteration of
not
this
with this.
roster.
Mm-mm.
Same with the coaching staff.
No,
I
no.
think I would keep this roster for another coaching staff. Now I don't believe in the roster, but I think that roster is good enough to make a deep playoff push. And again, it's one or two
Yeah.
one or two plays makes a Super Bowl team. The
Yeah.
Bengals
I
kick the
yeah.
Bengals kicked a field goal, beat the Titans.
Mm-hmm.
Kick the field goal, beat
Mm-hmm.
the Chiefs. Kick the field goal,
Yeah.
get what is it's two or three plays make a Super Bowl team.
Yeah.
If the
100%.
Cowboys make those two or three plays, they're a Super Bowl team.
Yeah.
So I think give them a coaching staff, and then if they don't succeed
Yeah.
that year, then do a roster shakeup. But I think that
Mm-hmm.
I would keep this roster for one more year. With now, I'm not saying fire Mike McCarthy this year. Whatever year Mike McCarthy's fired, keep the roster for
Yeah.
one more year,
One more
see
year.
what they can do, and then move on.
I see who's available coming up into this
Sean
off
Payton,
season. Sean Payton, I know, is available.
Frank Reich.
Frank Wright's available. Sean Payton has connections to Jerry Jones, though. He was actually a quarterback coach there for the Cowboys. It makes a lot of sense for them to go after him. Um, I could see that happening, but currently, I think it depends on how Mike McCarthy does in the playoffs. If they win a few games, I think they keep him for a year. If they get blown out in the wild card like they did last year, I think he's gone. So I couldn't, in good conscience, put them any higher than 8, but I don't think they're worse than the Jets or the Chargers. So they,
Yeah.
they stick at that 8 spot. All right, number 7. A lot of people were a little worried. I know because the Lions hadn't popped up to this point. The Lions are winning. The
Oh
Lions are
yeah.
looking good. The Lions are looking like a top NFL team. They just beat who is in my number one, our first podcast, our first week doing it, the Vikings, and they beat them. Really, honestly, that game wasn't close.
Yeah.
They just completely embarrassed the Vikings. That score lied. That game was 100% Lions. Everything they freaking on a fourth down did a fake punt and it went for what 20 yards, something like that. It was crazy.
And Panay Sewell.
And Benet Sewell, they hit on a lot of their draft pick. Aiden Hutchinson um, could go offensive or defensive player of the defensive rookie of the year.
No,
They've looked really impressive.
it's Tariq sauce. It's Tariq sauce.
Yeah, but he's in the conversation. I think he'll get some votes.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Um,
Especially if they make the playoffs. If they make the playoffs, for
yeah,
sure he will.
if they make the playoffs, he ends with 10 sacks.
Yeah.
He's in the conversation. All right, that's number 7. Number 6, we got the 49ers. They're now down to their third string quarterback, potentially fourth string, and they're still a deep playoff favorite. They're still number 4. I was listening to a podcast earlier today. They're still the number 4 betting favorites for the Super Bowl.
Wow.
They're on their third string quarterback, potentially fourth string going into this week. Brock Purdy is questionable, and they're still betting favorite, number 4 betting favorite for a Super Bowl. That's crazy. How
I,
do you do that?
I want to see who's their current backup. Josh Johnson.
Uh, anyway, uh, that's the 49ers. I have them at 6. I can't, in good conscience, put a team that potentially is putting their fourth string quarterback into a higher spot than 6. I think that's a very respectable position. But any thoughts on the last two, Nick?
I hope Brock Purdy doesn't play this week because I want Josh
Hmm.
Johnson to play a game. He is the ultimate journeyman. I'm gonna name
Yeah.
off the he. This is his fourth stint in San Fran.
What the heck?
So
That's crazy.
Tampa, San Fran, Cleveland, Cincinnati, San Fran, Cincinnati, Jets, Colts, Buffalo, Ravens, Giants, Texans,
Dude,
Raiders. Wait,
dang.
oh, I'm not done. I'm not done. Commanders, Detroit, San Fran, Jets, Baltimore, Broncos, San Fran. This is his
We need to make a graph this week. That's 20 teams.
21st team.
We need to make a graph sometime in the near future of the teams that he hasn't been on
He is
and
36
show
years
that.
old. He's been on almost as many teams as his age. Oh
It's
my
amazing.
god. 21 different times he's been signed and cut. So
Mhm.
I had to look that up. I didn't know who the backup was. So once I saw his name, I had to look
I'm
him up.
very
And
happy
see.
about that. That's
21
I'm
times he's been cut and re-signed.
Yeah, that's
And
crazy.
and the AAF and USFL. He played in both of those. And the XFL. He played in every spring league. That's like 30 teams. Wow, I love him. I
That's
love him.
awesome.
I'm buying a Josh Johnson jersey now. whenever he signs to the USFL next season, I'm gonna buy a Josh
Yep,
Johnson jersey.
do it.
But
All
yeah, carry
right.
on.
Number 5, we're breaking into our top 5. We have the Minnesota Vikings. They've dropped down a few spots this week. When you lose to the Lions, I don't care how much me and Nick love the Lions. They're still the Lions. When you lose to the Lions and you're worst Super Bowl favorite, come on.
They're still a rebuild team. Like I think
Yeah,
they're a year early. They're a year or two early.
you're early, and I still don't know about Kirk Cousins. I don't think he's him. I don't think he's the guy. The rest of the roster looks good. They still need some youth on that defense. Defense is getting pretty old, but I have them at 5, and it's the unconfident 5. The Vikings have really shown some true colors this last few weeks, and it's been sad because they were such a hot team, such a cool team, but they're at 5 now. At number 4, we have the Kansas City Chiefs. They are the Super Bowl pick right now. And I have good arguments for why these three teams ahead of them are better, but we'll get to that in a minute. I'll talk about the Chiefs real quickly. Patrick Mahomes is 100% the MVP favorite, and he should be. He's having another crazy year without Tyreek Hill. I don't know of any other quarterback currently in the league that you could take away their number one weapon and them have still an MVP year the next year. Like, he's the best. He's the face of the franchise or the league now, and he should be. Um, he's exciting. He's fun. He seems like a genuinely good person. Andy Reid is a great coach and a great person. I'm really happy for the Chiefs. I really hope they make a good playoff run. But any thoughts on the Chiefs or Vikings there, Nick?
That just means that you have three NFC teams above them. So
No, I have three. I have two. I have two AFC and one NFC.
all right, let's hear it.
At number 3, I have the team that owns the Chiefs,
Oh,
the
okay.
Cincinnati Bengals. You cannot pick Chiefs over the Bengals right now. I don't care who you are. They beat them 3 times in a row. One was an AFC Championship. Joe Burrow has had very similar stats to Patrick Mahomes this year, but no one's talking about him because he's Joe Burrow and not Patrick Mahomes. Um, the Bengals, I mean, they might win the division. I'm not confident that they're going to win a Super Bowl this year, but they're in the conversation with teams like the Bills, like the Chiefs, like the Eagles, even though I don't think they are. A lot of people do think they're Super Bowl teams. 49ers, all these teams, they're in conversations to be that Super Bowl team, and they 100% deserve to be in those conversations. They've been a very good team, good offense, defense is improving. The rushing game has been outstanding. Um, I'm pretty sure doesn't Joe Mixon lead the league in rushing right now?
No, no, no. I mean, if he does,
He's
I
close.
don't know how. NFL
He was having a season.
rushing leaders. It's Josh Jacobs. That's what I thought.
Josh Jacobs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me just say the number real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna say Derrick Henry.
Okay.
Derrick Henry has 1,200. How many more
Yeah.
yards do you think Josh Jacobs has?
He had 1,600 or just below 1,600 the last time I looked.
He has 1,400 yards
Yep.
with 4 games still remaining in the season.
He revived his career, man. He deserves the contract. There was people calling him a bust this year, coming into this year. Crazy. He's a great running back.
Now, let me just say so. I'm gonna flex something real quick. Nick Chubb
Hmm.
has 1150 on 30 less carries or 40 less carries. I'm just saying, give Nick Chubb those carries. That's all I'm saying. But whatever.
You're also the Browns. If you gave him those third carries, well, he'd probably be in a hospital right now. So
Yeah, yeah.
we won't
But
talk about that. If you give
he's
those
had
30 carries and he was healthy, yeah.
he's had three terrible weeks in a row. Imagine Nick
Yeah.
Chubb early season, the entire season. He was
Hmm.
on pace to break a record. But nope,
Yeah.
nope, he sucks now. Anyway, yeah.
Yep.
So moving
So
on.
Bengals over the Chiefs. I don't even think that's an argument at this point.
Yeah, I
The
agree.
Bengals have beat them 3 times in a row. Number two, the Bills. They're
I
the number
disagree.
one in the
That's the
uh
first one I disagree with.
who are you going to put over them? Are you
Chiefs.
going to put them at four and
Yes.
Chiefs and Bengals ahead of them?
Yes.
Because I just
100%.
don't think
The Bills would get blown out by either one of those teams. Right
I
at
don't
this
think
current
so.
point of
I
the season,
like
they get
they
blown
every team
out.
they faced, the Bills, yes, have looked hurt and they've limped into those games, but they've won. I don't think they're getting blown out by either team. They're too good. And they're still 10-3. They have the best record in the AFC. That's why I still have them at where they're at until
Well, the
they've
Chiefs are
proven that
10.
they can't. Yeah, until they've proven that they can't, though. Yeah, but the Bengals beat them. So if I have the Bengals ahead of them, I think the Bills are better than the Bengals. Therefore, they're at two. I get why people wouldn't have them at two. They're not a confident two. I think the space between the number one spot and the rest of these teams is quite substantial. And the Chiefs, I think, would probably win now over. It'd be a toss up between the Bengals. The Chiefs need someone else to beat the Bengals, and I think they go to the Super Bowl.
Well, Odell, way to
Um,
go.
uh, yeah, but I have Bills at two. Until they prove that they aren't the best team in the AFC, I'm gonna keep them at two. The number one team, I don't think this is gonna be a shock for anyone. They've been the best team in the NFL this year. They have a borderline MVP at quarterback. A good young coach who's really shocked me this year. I didn't think he was a good coach. It's really surprised me. It's Philadelphia Eagles, and it's crazy to me what they've been able to do this year. I don't think they're Super Bowl favorites. I don't think they're staying at number one even for the rest of the regular season. But the Eagles this week and up until this point have been the best team in the NFL, hands down. There's no question. For a few weeks, it was, oh, is it the Bills? Is it the Chiefs? It's the Eagles now. The Eagles are 100% the best team in the NFL. Take it to the bank. That's the end of it. Any questions or concerns or comments on the top 10, Nick?
No, for the most part, I agree. I
Yeah.
understand your
Uh,
reasoning.
yeah. Those three spots at the top there, the Chiefs, Bengals, and Bills, those all could be interchangeable. I'm not hard set on any of those. But when the Bengals have beat the Chiefs 3 times, I don't think you can put the Chiefs above them. And then the Bills still hold that top spot. So yeah, it's a tight race in the AFC. I will say
What's your
that.
bottom five?
Bottom five. Bottom five had a bunch of change-ups this week. It's exciting. The Panthers started playing good all of a sudden, so I can't continuously in good conscience keep them in the bottom five, even though I think they're one of the worst rosters in the NFL.
You can keep the Rams in
Um,
there though.
I can keep the Rams. I didn't
Aw,
because they won and they won in convincing fashion.
I wanted to poop on Baker more.
I know, but I couldn't, in good conscience, keep probably, if not the best, one of the best coaches in the NFL in the bottom five
I know.
when they're winning now. So, and they're not technically eliminated from the playoffs yet either.
Nope.
Um, they are. They're not going to the playoffs.
No.
I'm sorry, any Rams fans that are holding on to hope, they're not going to the playoffs, but they're not mathematically eliminated. Anyway, number five coming in this week. We talked about them earlier. It's Trubisky. It's Mike Tomlin. It is the Steelers. The Steelers are my fifth worst team in the NFL at this time. They've been a joke this season. They're in a rebuild. They're in a complete rebuild. It's not Mike Tomlin's fault. Please don't fire Mike Tomlin, Steelers.
Hey,
I'm sure you, as a Browns fan,
if you
are.
do, if you do, I will jump on the Fire Stefanski bandwagon if that means we get Mike Tomlin. All right.
Mhm.
The only time I'll fire
I'll take
Kevin
Mike Tomlin.
Stefanski, the only time I'll fire
Is
Kevin
there
Stefanski for
any?
Mike
Is there
Tomlin.
any coach outside of like McVay and Andy Reid that you would not take Mike Tomlin over? That's a conversation for another day, but like we should think about that. I don't know if there's many coaches right now
Well,
that
he's a
any
Hall of
team
Famer.
would not.
He's a Hall
Yeah,
of Fame
but
coach,
like
so
he's up to the season never had a losing record
yeah.
with Big Ben.
Hey man, they're not out
Uh,
of the losing record yet. I'm just saying. Aren't they like
no, they're
5-8?
not.
They could
Yeah,
go 9-8. They could still be above 500, which is
yeah,
crazy that they could still be
yeah,
above 500. So
yeah. They've been
let's
an
not rule them out
embarrassment.
yet.
No, no. All right, but number four coming in at number four, it's Colts. The
On
Colts are a complete mess.
how are you gonna fire them when they're not even when on their day off? They didn't even do anything.
They were in the bottom five last week. They didn't win. They like, what do you want me to do? They're the Colts. Come
Poor
on.
guy,
When you
man.
have Jeff Saturday
On
as
their
your head
day off,
coach,
you fire them, bro. That's messed up. It's just
come on. The Colts are at number four. They deserve to be there. They're an embarrassment. It's sad. I like the Colts.
no, you don't.
Not
It's
as a
not the
team.
point.
I'm just
I
saying
was
in
gonna say it's not the
general.
point.
I've yeah. In general, I meant I've been a Colts fan for not a diehard or anything like that, but I liked watching Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck. Anyway, number three, I have the Cardinals. They make the first appearance in the bottom five this week, and they 100% deserve to be there. Their coach is going to get fired this year after he just got an extension.
Free Kyler
Uh,
Murray.
I find that so funny. And what team is going to go there? What coach is going to go to the Cardinals right now? No one wants that job. No one's confident in the quarterback. No one's confident in the team. The team's getting old. It's not a good job. The Cardinals are at three this week, and I really don't think it's even a question for anyone of why they're there. Coming in at number two, we have the Texans. Uh, no explanation really needed there for the most part. Texans have been the worst team this NFL season. And it's sad because I really like, we've talked about Lovie Smith in detail earlier on the podcast, another podcast. Um, but, and I really hope they get another season. Me and Nick have covered that a little bit for Lovie Smith, but they ultimately do not have a winning record, and they are the worst team in the NFL stat wise and everything else. So Texans at two, number one, just based on pure fact, won their record, but just based on pure expectations, Nick's favorite Super Bowl pick, and one of my deep ride playoff teams. It is the Denver Broncos are the worst NFL team, and I will
Still at
stick with
one.
that.
Still at
I
one.
will stick with that until they win a game. They
Well,
are horrible. I don't care that they went 28 points and were a touchdown away from beating the Chiefs, who are in my top 10. I don't care. You are horrible this season, Broncos. Fire coach.
their offense is terrible. Don't talk about their
Yep.
defense.
Their
It's
defense is fine.
it's been
Their
historic.
defense is good.
It's been
Their
historic this
defense
season.
was great. No, their defense was great in the first season, and now they've given up. Um, when you put up 35 points against them, your defense is no longer considered great in my book. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you're facing, even if he's the MVP person. If you allow 35 points when your team is actually being competitive for once on offense, you don't deserve to be
That's fair.
considered a great defense.
That's fair.
Um, yeah, it's the Broncos. Broncos are going to get the Seahawks a top draft pick, and I'm here for it.
Oh
So
God.
yeah, that's the top 10, bottom five. Comment and see if you guys have any disagreements with us this week, but I don't think there's going to be too many. I think there's some pretty set teams there.
I'm just happy
Like
that the
Nick said,
Browns
made
didn't
the
make the
Bills.
appearance.
Yeah,
I was
but
really worried once you said what team was it? Number three. Who's number three?
Cardinals.
Once you put
I
the Cardinals
debated.
in there, I'm like, oh no, the Browns are number two,
I'm
aren't they?
between. I'm between the. You guys are borderline. You guys are probably six right now, so you
I'm
guys
fine with
need to
that.
start winning.
I'm fine with that. Just I was really worried. Once I heard the Cardinals, I'm like, he's a diss me. Put us at two, man. Where's the
No.
Bears? Hold up. Where's the Bears in this
All
bull
right.
crap? Wait a minute.
Okay.
They are one of
Okay.
the five
You tell
worst
me. Hold
teams
on.
in the
Hold on.
NFL.
Hold on. Hold on. You're telling me Justin Fields doesn't deserve to keep that team out of the bottom five? He is one of the top 10 rushers in the NFL this week, and he didn't play. He is top 10 in the NFL
Whatever.
right now, and
I
he
see your
didn't play
bias.
this
It's
week.
fine. Well, when they
It's
lose next week,
biased.
I fully
They'll
expect.
be here.
How come
They
the
will be
Colts
here.
got crapped on then? They didn't play this week either. It just
They
whatever.
were
I see
crapped
your
on. They moved down. They were
whatever.
3 last week. They moved down a spot to 4.
I don't remember the Bears being there last week either. Whatever, man.
They weren't. They were the first week, and you disagreed with me.
Whatever. Whatever. I'm just saying.
I
Anyway.
don't think. Okay, you think the Steelers are better than the Bears?
No, no, no,
You can
no,
legitimately make the
no.
argument right now that the Steelers are better than the
They're
Bears.
not. They're
You are a
not.
friggin' liar if
They're
you think
not
you
better.
think the
They're
Colts are
not
better
better.
than the Bears. They're not. Cardinals,
I
heck
don't.
no. Texans,
I say the Colts on a
maybe.
good day.
Colts on a good day, yeah.
Cardinals on a
Any
good
team
day
on a
with
good day,
Kyler
but
Murray. Colts with Kyler Murray could beat them.
yeah.
I mean Cardinals.
Well, yeah, with Kyle Murray, yeah, they'd probably be a playoff team.
No,
Texans, no. Come on. And
Broncos are.
Broncos, get out of here. No. They
I'm
are
just saying.
probably 7.
I don't remember
They're
seeing.
7. They are
But the
7.
Browns are 6. Whatever.
Browns are 6. You
Your
guys
numbers are off.
traded your
Whatever.
soul.
Okay,
You
and
traded your
I don't
soul.
have a soul anymore. It's just whatever.
Well, it wasn't you. It was your ownership. But you traded your soul. You had the pedophile on your team. You deserve to be 6.
Fine, I'll accept it.
All right. Moving
Moving
on.
on.
That is our top 10. Bottom 5.
2023 NFL Draft wide receiver rankings. Last week I did quarterbacks. This week I did wide receivers. Next week I'll probably do tight ends and then move on to the offensive
That's
line.
fine.
But the tight ends will be an interesting one because there's like two. There's two of
Yeah.
them I would touch, but that'll be
Mm-hmm.
So far with quarterback and wide receiver, I've said first,
Mm-hmm.
second, third round picks. Tight ends, I'm gonna be saying day 3, like 6th-round picks. It is not a deep
Mm-hmm.
tight end class, but at wide
It's not.
receiver, so I want to say before I go to wide receiver, Kayshon Boutte, who's the wide receiver for LSU.
Boutte.
He went back to
Sorry.
school. He went back to school.
He did.
So he would have been my number 4 wide receiver, but he went back to school, kind of like Olu Fashanu would have been my number 1 offensive tackle.
Yep.
Goes back to school. Now it's I don't know. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
But my new number 5, this person would have been number 6. Jackson Smith and Jigba. I don't have the tweet, but I did screenshot it. I don't have it. I can't find it. Last year, I said Jackson Smith and Jigba top 5 pick guaranteed, and every mock draft I've done, I've mocked him to the Bears with a top 5 pick.
Oh dear Lord, please no.
Not anymore. No, not anymore. His 2021.
We need offensive line.
Yeah, his 2021 stats, because he was injured all of 2022, was 95 receptions for 1,600 yards and 9 touchdowns. So if you're getting that player, it's a top 10 receiver.
Yeah.
His pros, he shows up in big games like the Rose Bowl last season.
Yeah.
He's really good at locating the ball, especially when he's running through mesh screens. Whenever his linebackers and defensive linemen are in the way, he always finds the ball. And he's an elite wide receiver. He'd be a really good number 2. He probably might make the Pro Bowl as a slot receiver his first season.
He might.
But if they just put him at the wide receiver, I would not put him at number 1. I think he's a good number 2. I think he would be a Pro Bowl number 3 day 1. The cons, he had a major injury in 2022. He only played 1 game, and he's basically stuck in the slot just because of how much talent has been at Ohio State since he's come on. He's been stuck in the slot. He had Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson last year. Like you're not playing over those 2 guys. So he was stuck in the slot his 1 year he did play, and then he gets injured immediately when he was going to be the number 1 receiver. So I think that everyone's going to mock him to the slot, which he should play. But he's a big body slot. I did not put his measurements on here, which I was going to. But he's like 6'4", 200. So he's going to be a big
Who was it
body
again?
slot. Jackson Smith and Jigba. I've got his size.
Yep.
He's like 6'3" or 6'4".
He is 6'1".
Oh, he's 6'1". Wow, I thought he'd be way taller than that. But I mean, he's
6'1". Yeah.
What's his weight?
6'1", 200 pounds.
Okay, so yeah, 200 pounds is very.
He runs
big.
a 4.48.
Yeah,
It's not
200
bad.
pounds for a receiver in the slot is very, very big. Name me a slot receiver who is over 175 pounds. But
Antonio Brown.
he's a number 1. He's a boundary receiver.
Yeah, but you played in the slot.
I'm talking about you had to stay in the slots. Like I would not put Jackson at number 1. I wouldn't. He's not a 1. But he's my number 5. My prediction is first to second round. I think towards the
Hmm.
end of the first round, the Ravens, if the Ravens can
Yep.
make a deep playoff push and get a later first round pick, I would take a shot in
Hmm.
Jackson Smith and Jigba. But
Hmm.
I think he'll be one of the first couple picks of the second round. Is my prediction.
Yeah. Early second round, late first round, I think is a good position for him at this point in the season.
Yeah, and funny enough, I have another slot receiver at number four, Josh Downs from North Carolina. Uh,
Yep.
I have him the same thing, first, second round, but I think he's number
Hmm.
four. His 2022 stats was 94 receptions for 1,000 yards and 11 touchdowns. Stats back him up
Hmm.
all career.
Yep.
His entire college career, his stats back him up. He's great in space. He's really good yak receiver, and he's best used as an offensive weapon, not necessarily stuck in a wide receiver role. Kind of like Debo Samuel, McCole Hardman. They both get
Hmm.
used a lot. I think I use Josh Downs like that. He's gonna run a really fast 40. Again, I didn't put any of these people's sizes. I regret that. But his cons, he's a slot receiver.
He's 5'10".
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
5'10", 175.
Yeah, he is a slot
He's
receiver.
21 years of age. Yep, he's a
Yeah,
slot receiver.
I wouldn't put him. I don't think his body is also very slim. He's a very slim body.
Yeah,
I would not
he's
let him
skinny.
play boundary.
Skinny boy.
Yeah, I would stick him in the
Yep.
slot, kind of like Kyle Phillips with the Tennessee Titans.
Yep.
I would just keep him in the slot. Say, hey
He
man,
runs a 4.3.
yeah, exactly, yeah, and
Yeah.
I think he
Hmm.
might test in the 4.2s. I think he
Yeah.
tests in the 4.2s. But yeah, I think
Yep.
that Josh Downs, very good receiver from North Carolina, a
Hmm.
team actually I think would be very good for
Tar
him.
Heels.
Yeah, the Tar Heels. Another a team I think would be good for him
Hmm.
is the Commanders with Sam Howell, who I believe
Yeah.
Sam Howell went to the North Carolina. It was him.
I'm not sure, but yeah,
Carson Strong
I like that.
might have gone to North Carolina. One of the
Him and
quarterbacks,
their current wide receiver. I can't think of his name right now. He'd be a good number two to his
Terry
one.
McLaurin.
Yep.
Yeah, and then you have Curtis Samuel to play the true slot role. But Josh
Yep.
Downs, I would put him in the slot.
Yeah.
If you want to buff him up a little bit, he can play the two. But I do like Josh Downs. I like his athletic
I
ability.
think on the outside, I think he can go on the outside. He's proven that in North Carolina. I think to play outside in the NFL, bump him up to 190, get him in the weight room, and he could 100% run those routes on the outside and be fine.
Yeah, and he's a pretty good route runner. He's not bad. He's an
Yeah.
average route runner. But
Yeah. He's
an elite
fine.
route runner, in my opinion, is Jordan Addison from USC. He's my number three receiver. He had an
Mm-hmm.
elite 2021 season, but in
Where I have him right now too.
2022, yeah, in 2022 he had 60 receptions, 875 yards, and 8 touchdowns. With Caleb
Mm-hmm.
Williams, who won the Heisman this year, he had an
Yep.
elite 2021 season. He won the Blitnikoff Award. He's an elite athlete,
Mm-hmm.
everything you want in a wide receiver one. The Patriots have been
Mm-hmm.
my favorite spot for him to land. I've always mocked him
Yep.
to the Patriots. The cons, he's really weird. He's 6 foot,
Mm-hmm.
175. So he's
Yeah.
tall and
He's
lanky.
interesting.
It is a little,
Yeah.
it's a little.
He's gonna get pushed around a little bit unless he can put on some weight.
Yeah, and he's gonna be drafted as a number one receiver. He is a
Mm-hmm.
perfect number one receiver in skill.
Yeah.
But that is just
Not in size.
it's such a weird combination of height and
Yeah.
size. So if he could put some weight again, like you said, if he can go up to 190, 200,
190,
yeah,
one ninety, and then put some stilts on, be 6'1".
yep. And
Yeah. He
my
runs
only
a
problem,
4.39. That's pretty good.
yeah, I don't think he's a test
Hmm.
that good in the combine though. Again, like these first round receivers
I think
know their
he'll run a
first round.
4.4. I
Yeah,
think he'll run a 4.4.
yeah. These first round receivers know their first round, and nothing can
Yeah.
really touch them. Like
No.
if my number one and two wide receiver run bad 40s, they're still getting
Th-
taken. They're still getting taken in the first round.
yeah,
But
I think I know who you have coming up here, and there's no
oh
way
yeah,
that they're getting knocked out. I
oh
think,
yeah,
but even Jordan Addison, I think he's guaranteed at least bottom first round.
yeah. And the only problem, in my opinion, truly with his game, is his hands. He doesn't have
Yeah.
like drops, but like for some
No.
like I don't know what it is.
He's got small hand syndrome.
Yeah, he has small hands, and for like ball tracking is what my problem is. But again, ball
Hmm.
tracking can be taught. It's not something that
Yeah.
it can be taught. Like
And
it's
in
not
all
like a
honesty,
mental thing.
catching the ball can be taught too with hands. If you don't have the biggest hand size, it can be taught.
Yeah,
You can teach how to catch with the body instead with the hands. It's possible.
yeah. And my number two receiver who again, who I was pointing to that even if they run a bad 40, they're getting taken,
Hmm.
is Jalen Hyatt from Tennessee.
Well, I don't think you're taking. Oh, really? You have Jalen Hyatt
Oh yeah,
over
yeah. No, no, no,
or
no, no. Jalen Hyatt. Yeah.
under.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Jalen
interesting.
Hyatt, he's
I don't
amazing.
disagree with you.
He's
I don't
amazing.
disagree with you, but that's not what a lot of people are thinking.
No, no, but he's amazing. I
Yeah.
love Jalen Hyatt, but he's not as good as the other
Uh,
guy. I think he's
no.
still a top 15 pick. But his
Yep.
2022
I would say
stats.
borderline top 10. I could see a team taking a swing at top 10.
Well, yeah, I think it's like a lot of people mocking him top 10. So
Well, well, a lot of people are mocking him as the number one wide receiver. I don't think he is,
I don't agree with
but
it.
I think he plays at Tennessee, which is a bigger program than the guy that I think you have coming up.
Oh yeah, but yeah, his
And he
2022.
runs a 4.9, like that's crazy speed. Um,
He actually
he's got the
tested higher than
size.
that.
Where I have him is a 4.29. He might be higher than that,
Yeah,
but yeah.
but yeah, he had 67 receptions, 1,200 yards, and 15
Hmm.
touchdowns this year.
Yeah.
He actually tried to what was it? It was track and field in high school.
Hmm.
I went deep for
Yeah.
Jalen Hyatt. I knew how fast he was.
Yeah.
4.27.
Mm.
Doesn't break a record of 4.22,
No.
but 4.27 with the long
But dude,
arms.
you're at milliseconds there when you're talking about
Yeah, there's not really
speed.
like there's not a difference between 4.27 and 4.29, but like, it sounds
There
cooler. Like
is, but it's milliseconds. It's literally when you're talking football speed, that's maybe a yard difference, which can win and lose you games, 100%. But I don't think you'll see it that much of a difference in the NFL. He's gonna be Tyreek Hill compare like speed
right,
wise,
yeah,
like that. He's
comparisons.
gonna be a burner.
But he has long arms to contest that as well.
Mhm.
So now on top of being super fast, he can reach out and catch the super
Yep,
long over the shoulder throws.
yep. He's 6 foot.
He's an excellent blocker. He's probably the number two blocker behind
Yep.
Jackson Smith and Jigba in this class.
Hmm.
The cons, only one elite season. Now that's not usually a con that like attaches to wide
Yep.
receivers because like usually quarterbacks dictate
Nope.
your stuff in college. Like
Hmm.
it is your quarterback. But
Yeah.
Hendon Hooker this season had an elite season. The
Yep.
true only like thing I have against him, his route
Hmm.
tree is limited.
It is.
He can't run
Tennessee
all
runs a
13
very
point.
simple scheme though, so I don't hold that 100% against him.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust him to run the full 13 point route tree.
No.
I feel he's definitely a number one receiver, but like I don't know if I would trust him one year one the open playbook, the full open playbook of doing everything. Oh, I muted my mic by accident. Oh, there we go. Okay, sorry about that. Anyway, yeah, Jalen Hyatt is my number two receiver, and my number one receiver is Quentin Johnston. I think he is the monster of this class. Uh,
Dude, he's my number one too.
yeah, my prediction: top 10 pick.
Yep.
I think he's the one that goes in top 10.
I
Who was
think
it?
he surprises, and I think NFL teams are looking at the same thing we are, and they're looking 6'4", 215, and he still runs a 4.40. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, he's an athletic freak. He's 53
Uh,
catches, 900 yards, 5 touchdowns. He run my biggest thing for if you're gonna be drafting a receiver in the first round to be your number one receiver, you got to run
mhm,
every route in the tree. You have to.
mhm.
He runs all of them elite level. Like
It is.
when
He's crazy.
during
I
the
followed
combine,
TCU this year. I followed TCU this year and watched a few of their games. Uh, if they played a little bit of a different offense, more of a spread, more of a deep threat, he would have had way more stats this year than what he had. But
yeah,
he was crazy.
yeah. TCU isn't known for being a great power program anyway. So, but
Mm-mm.
yeah, I mean
They've been good the last few years, but now they're coming. Yeah.
yeah, he can run every route in the tree.
Hmm.
He's a deep threat, great acceleration, great speed, great stride. He knows how to keep his balance once he has the ball. The only con for him is his run blocking. But again, not every team needs a run blocking wide receiver.
This is the thing. If I'm hiring you to receive the ball, I want you to be good at what I'm drafting you for. We can teach run blocking, but really, honestly, I don't need a run blocker on the outside. I need my Titans to be good run blockers. Um, I don't think wide receivers have to be run blockers. If you're running on the outside, you're not a good rushing team. I've said that from the beginning. If you have to use the outside as an outlet, you're not a good rushing team. You should be able to run it down the throat of a defense. So I don't hold that against him as much.
Well, I come from the mindset of a good offense is a running offense. I'm still not in
Yeah.
the whole. In my opinion, I think that eventually we're gonna go back to drafting running backs in the first round because
Mm-hmm.
not every quarterback is Josh Allen. Not every
Nope.
quarterback is Patrick Mahomes. Not every quarterback can throw the ball 50 times for 400 yards and 5 touchdowns.
Yep.
Teams got to learn that their quarterbacks, like the Steelers, whatever's going on with Najee Harris has got to be fixed. Because
Yep.
Kenny Pickett will never throw for 5,000 yards in a season.
Never.
So like that's my opinion. I think if you're gonna draft a wide receiver, it's team
Mm-hmm.
based. So like the Chiefs, they don't care if
Mm-hmm.
Quentin Johnson can run block. Can you run
Nope.
down the field and catch the ball? But the Browns care about run blocking a whole lot more. The
Uh-huh.
Vikings, in my opinion, I think the Vikings care about run
Yep.
blocking a whole lot more because Dalvin
Mm-hmm.
Cook is a really good running back. The
Yep.
Cowboys, same thing. The Cowboys, you got to know how to run block as a wide receiver. We have Zeke and Tony Pollard. That's why Noah
Yeah.
Brown is one of the best run blocking wide receivers in the league.
Mhm.
That's why Noah
This is
Brown still
my
has a job
yeah.
there.
This is my point though with run blocking. If you're a wide receiver, you're playing on the outside. If you are a good rushing team, like all those teams that you just listed, you should be running up the middle.
Well, Browns are
Up the
there's
middle.
different schemes. There's outside zone
Yeah.
schemes. So
Which is fine, but that's not it just if you it defeats the defense quicker. What running game should be is to defeat the defense and drive the corners in. That's what you want to do so you can attack the out on your passes. And so that's what the Bears are really good at in the last few years have been bringing defenses in with Montgomery and then beating people over the top. We just didn't have a quarterback until the last few years to beat people over the top. That's why I don't like the zone scheme because I want a power running game so it brings people into that middle and it wears out that defense. So then you can start beating on those deep routes um, later on in the game.
well, yeah, that's the whole point. That's why there's different schemes, different
Yeah.
playbooks. That's like it's just every
Hmm.
coach is different. That's why Joe Woods doesn't work for the
Hmm.
Browns. That's why Joe Woods
Yep.
wouldn't work for the Bears. Like,
Yeah,
it's
it's
all
just
different
different.
schemes. Matt
Yep.
Eberflus runs that
Dip.
kind of
Hmm.
defense. That's why
Yep.
he was hired for the Bears, is he said, "Here's the defense I run."
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I think Quentin Johnson easily is the best wide receiver in this class. Um,
I think
Again,
just measurables is what makes him there.
yeah, Keishon Butte, I wish he would have announced because I think
Yeah.
Jackson Smith and Jigba being a sixth receiver is a lot more clickbaity. Even though I truly believe
Hmm.
he is the sixth best receiver, um,
Yeah.
but keeping him off the list would have been a lot more
Hmm.
meaningful than having him number five. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Hmm.
my ranking for the 2023 NFL Draft.
Yeah. I don't disagree with any of those.
Yeah, next week we got tight ends, so that'll be a fun one with
Fun.
one of them draft worthy and the rest being complete doo doo.
Yeah.
Although people are really mocking Darnell Washington in the first round, which is crazy to me. But yeah,
It's just because
next.
they want to throw a tight end in that first round. He's not a first round draft pick.
Yeah, the only one is Michael Mayer. He's the only one that deserves to
Yeah.
be in the discussion for the first 2 days of the draft. But
Hmm.
moving on, we got where does Odell sign and how effective will he be? So the two of the three teams that did invite him for a workout, being
Hmm.
the Bills and the Cowboys, have both
Yep.
signed Cole Beasley and T.Y. Hilton
Yep.
respectively. The only team that brought him in is the Giants that remain.
Yep. Yep.
Does Odell sign at all during the regular season? And what team do you think he's signing
He's
with?
come out and said he won't, but he might. But
Wait, what team do you think is signing Odell? Of any team now, because the two big teams I thought
mhm.
would are out. So what team do you think is
I
signing
don't
Odell?
think the Cowboys have come out and said they're not out on Odell. He's come out and said they don't want him now, or he doesn't want to sign now. So you're essentially I don't think Odell's going to be that effective this year. I don't think he's going to be the Odell that the Rams had last year. I don't think he's done though. So you're essentially getting him for next year on a 2-year deal. My three teams, I'll give you three that I think should sign him and have a good chance. One, the reuniting with New York. I think you can sell, hey, we got a good young team. We're gonna go get a quarterback in the draft. Come play for us. Um, I think he loved New York. He didn't want to leave New York. Uh, I think reuniting there, I think that's the best option. And I think that's what he should do. But he wants other Super Bowls. So the Bills are another team that I think could still sign him and still have a very legitimate because we're talking playoffs at this point. Um, you get him on a team friendly deal, and then after that, it kind of becomes a toss up. You could throw many teams in there. I think, like you talked about earlier, I think not Jets, dear Lord, Vikings need to make a call. I think the Vikings, to get pressure off of just the name, we're talking about name here. We're not talking about skill level that I think he will have. Just the name is going to drag attention towards him, and that's going to take pressure off of Justin Jefferson in the playoffs. And so I think you definitely make a call just for that reason. You limited plays, give him 20 yards, 35 yards in the regular season, kind of make teams a little scared of him, just so you don't have teams teaming Justin Jefferson.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I agree. My
mhm,
number one is definitely the Giants. They're the
yeah.
only other team remaining that still wanted him and hasn't signed anyone
Hmm.
to replace him yet. But I think he's
Yeah.
hesitant now to sign there. I think
Hmm.
another team would be the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Juju has really fallen off since the first
Yes.
half of the season. He had an amazing first half of the season, but
Hmm.
now he's really fallen off. Travis Kelsey hasn't been the same. He's still good,
Yeah.
but he just hasn't been the touchdown producer. McCole
Hmm.
Hardman is still terrible. I still think McCole Hardman is
Yeah.
one of the worst starting wide receivers in the league. Can't catch
Yeah.
anything. Um, and then Sky Moore hasn't even seen the field. Like
Yeah.
Odell in that mix would be interesting, but I
Hmm.
think the best team for him is the Vikings. I think that would be the best scheme
Yeah.
fit for him. They throw the ball a lot. He's gonna get looked
Yeah.
at. I think the Vikings would be the best fit for him.
I think you make a call. I haven't heard anything Vikings related
Nope,
to OBJ.
not at all.
Um, which is sneaky. I think they might sneak themselves into it. Um, but I think you got to make a call, just similar reasons of what we made with him. And like I said earlier with my point, I don't think you're signing him for this year, but next year, him as
Well,
a number
you're signing
two
him for
or
the
a slot,
playoffs. You're signing him for the playoffs this year.
you're signing him for the playoffs, but he wants a 2 year deal. Um, give him incentives with the Vikings. I think the Vikings are building for next year. I don't think they're a playoff team this year. I don't think they're a deep run. I think they could make a deep run, but I think next year you could really convince that this is a Super Bowl bubble team. Um, and you could get Odell on a team friendly deal. And then I think the Vikings make the most sense for him and the team.
Yeah,
But we'll see.
that's the thing is that the Giants for him don't work
Hmm.
anymore. When they first scouted him, it did, but they've lost
Yeah.
like two in a row. They're now
Hmm.
tied for the seventh seed, or maybe
Yeah.
the eighth seed. I wouldn't go with
Hmm.
the Giants this year.
Mm-mm. If he's signing with the Giants, it's purely nostalgia. He already has a ring and he wants
Yep.
to retire as a New York Giant.
Which
Um,
I think he wants to anyway.
yeah, we'll see. I think if he does sign with the Giants, it's not going to be until next year. I think he might go do a quick Super Bowl run with a team in the playoffs. And I mean, pick your list of Super Bowl teams: Chiefs, Bills, Vikings, Eagles. I mean, you could sign any of those teams on a team-friendly deal. I think any of those teams would take a chance on OBJ
Absolutely, I agree.
for a playoff. Pay him 2 million for a playoff run. Like, come on, that's easy money.
Mm-hmm. That's for that topic. A quick topic wasn't
Yep.
anything too important.
No.
Next is buy, sell, hold on 2023 projected QBs around the league. So I'm gonna name a
Okay.
team, and we're both gonna
Okay.
talk about it. Their
Mm-hmm.
projected quarterback for the next season. Would you buy
Okay.
that quarterback having a good year, hold,
Okay.
saying it'd be okay here, or sell?
Mm-hmm.
We got to find a different option. Like in this offseason
Yep.
coming up, we got to find a different
Mm-hmm.
option. So for the
Okay.
Cardinals, you got
I'm done.
Kyler Murray. Are you buy, selling, or holding?
For next season, I'm selling for next season. I'm not selling on Kyle Murray altogether. With the extent of his injury and his work ethic, I think he's really going to struggle with this injury. This is an injury that takes hard work to come back from, and I think I would sell for next season. Not overall, I think he will come back. I don't think he's over. Some of the people that are coming out saying that his career is over are crazy. I don't think it's over. But I think for this season and definitely next season, I'm selling.
Yeah, I would sell in the way of I'm getting a very competent backup quarterback who can win
Yeah.
me 6
Mm-hmm.
games.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Mm-hmm.
Like Daniel Jones,
Go. Yeah. Go
it's
get
got to be someone.
Kobe Brissett. Go get uh someone that's going to be a good backup.
Yep. The Atlanta Falcons, they're projected. Obviously, right now we don't know the draft pick. We don't know if they make the
Yep.
playoffs. Currently is Marcus Mariota.
Mm-hmm.
Now, does Desmond Ritter start next season is a conversation, but projected it's Marcus Mariota. Are you buying, selling, or holding on Marcus Mariota with the Falcons?
I'm holding. Um, just because I don't love where the Falcons are drafting if they're going for a quarterback. I think those top two guys we talked about last week are really good and could start now. The others you start really questioning. And Marcus Mariota is a C plus to B minus quarterback in this league. So I think I would hold. He's a good game manager. He can win you a few games. I don't think they're going to be in a Super Bowl conversation next year. He's a good bridge quarterback. I would hold there.
Yeah, I'm personally selling. Just I'm starting Desmond Ritter next year.
Yeah,
I'm done with Marcus Mariota. If he wants to
I
stay, he
don't
can be
blame you.
benched. If he wants to stay, he can
Yeah.
be benched. Desmond Ritter either wins me games and becomes a franchise
Hmm.
quarterback, or he loses me games to get me a franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
I would probably cut Marcus Mariota because I don't want anyone thinking, oh well, if Ritter starts playing bad, we have Mariota to start. No, no, it's Desmond Ritter, and we're getting a
It's
terrible.
not me. It's him or bust.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's him or bust. That's what I'd sign someone that like
Hmm.
no one wants starting. Like
Yeah.
I would like sign like Brett Hundley off the
Go for
off the
Joe
off the
Flacco.
street. Yeah, get someone crazy. Like
Yeah.
obviously you're not starting them. It has to be Desmond Ritter.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm selling and I'm going with Desmond Ritter. The
All right.
Panthers.
Hmm.
I can't believe I'm saying this. Their projected starter is PJ Walker
No,
because everyone's a free
It's Sam
agent.
Darnold.
Because he's a free agent, it's projected PJ Walker. Are you buying, selling, or holding on PJ Walker next year?
On PJ Walker
All
selling.
right, yeah,
On
obviously.
Sam Darnold, we're gonna go with Sam Darnold because I think they'll
Fine,
re-sign
fine.
him.
Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold.
IK on Sam Darnold, they might not. All right, so I'm
Also
not saying
selling.
that.
Also
Uh,
selling.
yeah, I'm selling even on him. No, I don't think either one of them are your long-term answer, and neither one of them have really shown they can be a good bridge. Go find one of those guys that had a pop-off season, um, and go sign one of them. I don't think. I think there's going to be too many good quarterbacks in this free agency that you can excuse having Sam Darnold as your starter.
Yep. We get someone else that's not Sam Darnold, so you can say, oh yeah, at least we didn't,
Yeah.
at least Darnold didn't come
Hmm.
back. A
Yeah.
fun one: the Chicago Bears. Are you buying, selling, or holding Justin Fields?
For next season, I am 100% buying. 100, like without question. With as a quarterback, heck yeah. I'm a little worried, and we'll talk about that in the next segment about his health. He's already shown some injuries. And he plays at 1,000 miles per hour.
Yep.
I just don't know if you're ever going to be able to turn that down, or do you even really want to turn that down? Like he plays with his heart and soul, which scares me with his injury. But I love him. He is the future of our franchise. Please get him an offensive line in this offseason. I don't think you touch any other quarterback. Think about any quarterback, get him an offensive line, and I think we will be set at offense. If we had an offensive line, I like our running back. I think our wide receivers are fine. Are they great? No, I think they're fine. We just need an offensive line and a defense, and we're good.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold because of those scenarios
I don't blame
around
you.
him. I'm
Yeah.
now again if they do fix their offensive line, add a weapon or two, like
Which
doesn't even have to be a
yeah,
top 10 receiver. Just add
yeah.
someone in the slot that I like. I'll
Our
buy.
GM is former offensive line. Uh and he has a lot of offensive line connections. So I think we will fix it this offseason. That's why I'm buying. But
Yeah, I'll personally hold until I see the changes that happen.
yeah, that's fair.
Uh, oop, I just unplugged my headphones.
Oh no,
Next up, I'll talk while I'm putting them back in. Next up,
that's fine.
we have the Dallas Cowboys. Are you buying, selling, or holding Dak Prescott?
You paid him big boy money. You have to buy at this point if you're the Cowboys. You don't have a choice. Um,
Why did I ask the
if it
Cowboys? I
was
asked you.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, if I'm now GM of the Cowboys, I inherit that team. I'm buying in on Dak Prescott. Like, I don't have a choice.
Hmm.
Um, like logically, like unlogically, I would hold like and try to make. Can we get a quarterback in the draft? Can we trade? Can we do something tricky? But logically, you have to buy in. He's your only choice. You paid him too much money to trade him. You paid him too much money to bench him for another rookie. You can't move off of him at this point. You made a deal with the devil, and you're gonna have to not the Dak's the devil, but you made your deal. You made your bed. You're gonna have to lay in it.
Yeah, I'm also buying just because I like Dak.
Yeah.
So,
No,
uh,
I don't dislike Dak either. I'm just saying like you can't sell, so you have to buy.
well, yeah, because he has. I'm sure his contract has a bajillion
Hmm.
dollars of dead money if you trade him.
Hmm.
Uh,
I'm sure it is.
yeah. Next is the
I think he
Detroit.
might have a no trade clause too.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised. Next is the Detroit Lions. Currently, it is Jared Goff because
Hmm.
they don't have a top two pick. So it is Jared Goff next year. Are you buying,
Um,
selling, or holding on Jared Goff in 2023?
I'm selling and I'm trading Jared Goff to get in that top two.
Fair,
um,
fair.
I'm selling whatever I got to go get a quarterback. I think Jared Goff has been a good bridge, but I think this team is borderline playoff division leaders. That division is falling apart between the Packers and Bears. Vikings are questionable. This division is open for the first time in the last 12 years, 15 years. The iron's hot. You got to strike. You got to go get a quarterback. If you waste this next 2 to 3 years, that window's going to close. The Bears and the Packers just have too much of a hold on that division. Historically, they're going to come back. One of those two teams is going to take over back over that division.
Yeah,
You could argue that maybe the Vikings, it's been the Packers, it's been the Bears for the last 50 years with a tinkling of the Vikings and a tinkling of the Lions. You need to strike when the iron's hot. Sell on Jared Goff.
yeah. I'll hold because
That's fine.
I think that pick will get into the top area. Now I think the
Hmm.
Rams will win another game or two, get out of the top
Yeah.
area. But if they, I
Hmm.
wouldn't be surprised if we hear that they have a top four pick. And with a top four
Nope.
pick, you can easily trade up and not having to
Yeah.
give up Jared Goff. Now obviously
Yeah.
he's a trade piece, use him, but
Hmm.
you wouldn't need to trade him. So I wouldn't be
No.
surprised if it is Jared Goff and a rookie behind him. But I'm gonna hold because
Yeah.
I want to see what the Lions are ballsy enough to do. But
Yeah. I'm excited.
yeah, a fun one. Green Bay Packers. Are you buying, selling, or holding Aaron Rodgers in 2023 with the Packers?
With the Packers. We're saying with the Packers.
If he
So
is
the
on the
Packers quarterback
Packers,
position.
if he's on the Packers in 2023 Week One, are you buying, selling,
Hmm.
or holding?
If he's there, so if he we're not thinking he's retiring. So if that goes into consideration, I'm holding just because Aaron Rodgers news and drama that has been the last 2 seasons.
I agree.
Um, I'm holding there. I don't think it's 100% that he's going to be a starter next year. I think it's more likely that he's on another team or retires. So I'm holding on that
Yeah,
spot.
I just didn't want to make another team. Like if I put him with
Hmm.
the Jets, right? If I put him with the Jets,
Yeah.
like the Jets could also draft someone that could keep Zach. Like there's a
Yeah.
number of things they could do.
I don't think you can honestly project Aaron Rodgers with another team right now. I think the favorite would still be Green Bay.
Hmm.
Um, but I don't think he's going to be there next season. But we'll see.
Yeah, your favorite take today that I heard earlier, so that's why I'm picking this
Hmm.
team. The Rams, Matt
Yeah.
Stafford, buying, selling, or holding.
If he's healthy. If Stafford is 80% of himself next year, which he was kind of this year. Um, and he stays at that 80%, doesn't decline like he did this year. He's top five quarterback in my opinion in this league. I've seen as a Bears fan, seen Matthew Stafford. I've seen what he can do. I don't think he's done. I think it will be a huge mistake if they move off of him. Um, I think you're crazy if you move off of him. You can't move off of Stafford. He won you a Super Bowl. But as success, I don't think the team's going to see much more success. I think they sold out for that 1 year. Um, but I think you buy in on uh, Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold. Me
Yeah, that's
personally,
fair.
I don't think it'd be bad, but I'm not gonna buy into
Hmm.
like, oh, he's gonna play good next year. might play okay, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't buy into like, oh yeah, he's a solidify his starting position with the Rams.
No, no, that's a fair take.
The 49ers. It is Trey
Hmm.
Lance who is projected.
Yeah.
Buy, sell, or hold Trey Lance.
Sell on any quarterback that's there.
Fair.
They have a quarterback controversy between three quarterbacks right now. For next season, if they bring back Jimmy G and Brock Purdy, who Brock Purdy's on contract, Jimmy G is not. Um, Jimmy G has made it proven that he's okay staying there as the backup. So I could see them still having Jimmy G next year, as crazy as that is. Um, you have three quarterbacks in this league. Wouldn't buy anyone at this point. They don't know who they want as quarterback. So
Yeah,
I'm so.
I'm gonna hold because I think he will start week one, but I don't know if he'll keep his job.
Projections even right now, projections don't have him being available for week one.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Like,
It's
yeah,
projection of he's gonna be like if everyone is
yeah,
healthy, he's starting.
hmm,
I
yeah.
think I'm gonna hold
No,
because
100%.
like
Yeah.
he could have a good year, but I'm gonna hold just because if they do keep
Hmm.
Jimmy G, let's say the 49ers defense is still top two.
Yeah.
They go 3-0 because of their defense. Trey Lance, 2 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. He's
Yeah.
benched. He's benched for Jimmy G.
I think in a redraft the 49ers would have taken Justin Fields.
Yes, thank you. That's
I
all I
think
wanted.
they
That was
I
my favorite
think
pick that draft. My
yeah.
favorite pick, and they didn't do
Hmm.
it. God,
I really think they regret that.
he would be a Hall of Famer with the 49ers, dude. It's so dumb. I hated
Hmm.
that. I hated that
Yep.
draft pick the day it was made.
Yep. Hmm.
Geno Smith, Seahawks. Buy, sell, hold.
I'm buying for next season. There's no quarterback in the draft that they're gonna be. I mean, they're number two right now.
I think they would
Or two
trade.
or three.
They'd rather trade that
Yeah,
pick.
I think they'll trade down. Do they go for a quarterback? Do they trade up? I don't know. I think Pete Carroll is ignorant enough to think that he can win without a quarterback because he did it this year. So I think they would trade out of that. So I'm gonna buy on Geno. I think they're gonna give him a $20 million deal and build up around him.
Yeah,
I actually think that's the best choice for them right now.
I think it's the best
To
choice for
win
any
while Pete
NFL
Carroll's there.
franchise. I think
Yeah.
if you don't have a quarterback, build your team around whatever quarterback you can get, and then you could
Yeah.
either attract a quarterback
Uh,
or you
Find.
draft a quarterback gets
Hmm.
you one of the best situations you
Here's what it
possibly can
is.
have.
Here's my opinion on that. If you find a quarterback that's okay being paid 2025, a prove it deal, 3-year deal, 25 million for that whole job, um, and build around him. That quarterback is gonna look. I don't think Tom Brady is as talented as Tom Brady is. Tom Brady was smart and got team friendly deals and got talent around him. And so that's why he's got 7 Super Bowls and is crazy
Yeah,
successful is because he made those decisions.
yeah, I agree. And speaking of Tom
So
Brady, the Buccaneers, I currently have projected not Tom Brady.
no, it's not going to be Tom Brady.
So I don't know who because they can't
Kyle
draft.
Trask.
They can't. No, oh, God, they're not doing that.
That's
So
their
I,
that would be their
but
projected starter.
but I'm adding a little bit of a parentheses in this. I had in
Okay.
parentheses not Tom Brady. Are you buying, selling, or holding not Tom Brady? Anyone else but Tom
So
Brady?
anyone else besides Tom Brady?
Because
Oh, that's hard to
that
buy,
could
sell, or hold on.
because they could trade for a quarterback. Like Aaron Rodgers could go to the
Yeah,
Buccaneers.
100%.
They have all their
He
picks.
won't.
They have all their picks. They could
Um,
trade for
they
someone.
have all their picks. They have some Super Bowl talent there. Um, I think Kyle Trask is going to be their quarterback next year. Especially for the starting, unless they go for a veteran. I don't think they're drafting. Um, and I don't think it's going to be Tom. So Kyle Trask, I hope he does. I have his rookie card. I really want him to pop
Oh,
off.
that's why you keep bringing him up.
Um,
I'm like, bro, Kyle Trask ain't doing nothing next year.
I really want him to pop off, but I'm selling on Kyle Trask, and I don't think there's really any quarterback that's going to save that Bucks team at this time.
And you're
I,
gonna sell
I
a
I
rookie
think,
card.
yeah, I really don't think the Bucks. I think the Bucks are done. I think they need to rebuild. Um,
I agree.
yeah,
Yeah, I put not Tom Brady because there's so you
yeah,
could say they trade for someone. They drafted Tanner McKee. They
Who
re-signed
do
Tom
who
Brady.
they actively go after though that would want to go there? Aaron Rodgers isn't going there. He would have to be live in Tom Brady's shadow. If
Jimmy
he doesn't
Garoppolo.
win a Super Bowl, Jimmy maybe,
I
but he's
said
now
I know
been injured three
I
seasons in a row.
I said that
I
because
wouldn't want Jimmy.
you said Tom Brady's shadows. I said Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, that's fine.
Jacoby Brissett would unironically be a great fit there.
He would.
Unironically, would be a great fit there.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah,
We'll see.
I would buy anyone but Tom Brady. I think Tom Brady is leaving
Yeah.
100%. I think he's gone.
Hmm.
And the final for the NFC. This is the last of the NFC. The Washington
Okay.
Commanders, Taylor Heineke. That's right. I put him over your boy
Hmm.
Carson Wentz. I think
No,
Taylor
I
Heineke.
think that's accurate. That's who they're starting right now.
Yep, Taylor Heineke, 2023. Are you
So
buying
you could actually he could go to
the
Tampa.
Bucks? Oh, Carson
Yeah,
Wentz.
yeah. That would be better than Kyle Trask. Anyway, moving on. Taylor Heinicke, man, I've liked him, but he reminds me of like a Kirk Cousins, Ryan Tannehill type. Like, and the type not similar quarterback style, but similar as in like he'll win you games, but when it comes playoff time, he's not gonna win you a Super Bowl. Um, he's not gonna be your difference maker. He's kind of a placeholder. I think he's a good quarterback. I don't think he's a future franchise quarterback, but you don't have draft picks like in the top round. You're going to be a playoff team. I think they go after a veteran in the offseason, so I'm going to sell.
I'm actually buying Taylor Heineke. You want to know why?
Yeah. Hmm.
So in their stadium, on
Hmm.
banners, they have
Yeah.
2023 season tickets. You like buy them
Uh-huh.
now. Want to know whose
Yeah.
face is all over that?
Tanner Houge.
Taylor Heineke. I
You know
think.
what you can do very easily though?
No. But let me finish this.
Reprints.
Carson Wentz was never on a season tickets banner.
No.
You want to know who was
He was this season.
but you want to know who was while Carson Wentz was starting? Chase Young.
Hmm.
So why on God's
Yeah.
green earth do they reprint all of them? Why do they just keep Chase Young? Chase Young's under contract next year, and like,
Hmm.
he's gonna play.
Uh,
Why is Taylor Heineke on those season tickets now?
that's a valid. It's a point, but if you're telling me if Tom Brady, if Aaron Rodgers, if
100% they stay with Taylor Heineke.
I don't think so.
100%.
I think if one of those veterans, even Jimmy G, comes available, I think they're moving on.
I think 100% they're sticking with Taylor Heineke.
Yeah, I mean that's your. I think they might. I don't think it's the right decision though.
So when I draft
Personally,
Taylor Heineke in the first round of the of our fantasy draft next year, and he goes
I'm
for
holding you to that.
1.5 million fantasy points, I'll show you.
I'm holding you to that. I'm gonna make you draft Taylor Heineke
I'll do it
next
in
year.
round three. I'll do it round three. I'll do it round three.
That's fair. That's fair.
Round
I'll hold you to that.
yeah no round three. I'm fine doing that with Taylor Heineke because I know he's gonna start at least one game. I drafted Matt Ryan in the fifth. All right, I'm fine taking Taylor Heineke in the third. I'm okay with that. But next on to the AFC, Houston Texans. This is the first time I'm having a rookie projected. Bryce Young. Are you buying, selling, or holding Bryce Young on the Texans?
I'm buying. Um, I think he's definitely gonna probably be the Texan starter. Um, I could see that somehow the Texans messing this up because it's the Texans,
I don't know
but I'm buying.
that Will Levis really showing us something. Yeah, I'm buying as well. I think it'll be Brandon.
Dear Lord, please have another we like Baker over Sam Darnold draft.
No, there's no way that he would jump all the way to above Bryce Young. There's no way.
But please, just please.
Yeah, Bryce Young
It
with
will make
Brandon
all the
Cooks.
memes.
Bryce
Yeah.
Young with Brandon Cooks and probably a rookie wide receiver as well. We'll probably
Hmm.
take someone in round two.
Hmm.
That's gonna
Yeah.
be a lot of. I'd love to see that. I'm buying
It's gonna
Bryce
be good.
Young. Now,
Yeah.
speaking of rookie quarterbacks, I am doing a major projection right now. Right, this is a prediction that's gonna go stale immediately. C.J. Stroud, projected starter for the Colts. The Colts trade everything they have to go number two and get C.J. Stroud. They're done with these
They ain't gonna
veterans.
have to trade much. they're gonna have a
That's a good
close
point.
to a top round
Anyway,
pick.
anyway, I was trying to be nice to him, but yeah, they trade their first this year and the first next year, trade
Yeah,
up, and they select C.J. Stroud. I would put
I don't
it's
disagree.
gonna go stale immediately. Bad take.
Hmm.
I'm ready to get it clipped. It's a bad take, but I'm projecting as of December 13th that C.J. Stroud's gonna go to the Colts. I am buying it 100% to the
I'm gonna
Colts.
hold. I'm gonna hold just because I don't know if they can pull that off. Um, but it'll be interesting. I don't think it's a bad idea, and I don't think it's not gonna be a conversation. Definitely in the Colts uh offices, but I don't know if they can pull it off. I think whoever's gonna be end up in that two spot, I think there's teams that are gonna offer more than what the Colts can offer
Yeah, someone's gonna
to get
over offer.
there. There just are. Someone's gonna be QB desperate. And they're gonna over offer. They're gonna offer the lot, and it's gonna be the Falcons. It's gonna be one of those other teams that are QB desperate, and they're gonna offer their whole future for a quarterback that they aren't gonna win with because they just gave away their whole team.
Yeah, but I'm okay with that take
Hmm.
going cold. Um,
Yeah,
I want to make sure before I say something. I want to make okay. So I'm gonna say this. I have one more take. It's the last team. I have one more take.
yeah.
I know it's a bad take. I'm okay with that. Derek Carr, New York Jets, 2023 projected starter.
I don't think that's a bad take.
I think it's a bad take because he has a no trade clause.
Yeah, but he can lift that.
Yeah, but like, does he
Um,
want to leave Devontae Adams behind? Does he want to leave the team that he has bled and fought for?
um,
I hope
are him
so.
and if are him and Devontae Adams on still on good terms right now?
I mean,
Like
Devontae
that's
Adams is
one question
still
you gotta put.
Devontae Adams
Like
is a
they're
top
still
three receiver still.
friends, but they're still friends, but he's not worked well in that system. Um,
I am buying to the moon. That is a Super Bowl team. That is
it
I will.
is. No, 100%.
They will compete with Buffalo and
The
Chiefs.
Raiders will make one of the biggest mistakes that they have ever made if they move off Derek Carr.
That's
He's
why I
still,
know it's gonna happen because the Raiders make a mistake every offseason with their draft. They will say, "Okay, guys, the Jets have like what? They have like a maybe a top 16 pick.
yeah.
All right, guys, we get what? A top 10 and a top 16 pick. We're gonna take Tanner Key, number 7 overall. Boom, put it in. All right. Who's a Clemson player? Who's from Clemson? Who? Oh, the third string corner. Boom. Walk away day one. Tanner McKee in a third string corner from Clemson. That's their draft.
I really hope Josh McDaniels does better, but the Patriots' last few drafts have proven to me that they don't know how to draft offense.
I want to see one second. I want to make sure. Trenton Simpson. There we go. That's what I was thinking of. Trent Simpson is a pretty good linebacker prospect, but still,
Yeah,
you're gonna trade Derek Carr for a linebacker. I'm calling it right
I
now.
could see it.
I'm
I
calling it
could
right
see.
now.
I don't. I think it's 51-49% that they would trade him.
I think they're willing to trade him. I don't think he's willing to get
Hmm.
traded. That's the thing. If they lose this year, like let's say they miss the
I think
playoffs,
he's willing to trade it to the Bucks. I think he's willing to trade to like a top tier team like that. That's been a playoff borderline playoff team the last few years. I don't think he would go to the Giants just because they're unproven.
well,
But
I said Jets.
oh, you said Jets?
I said Jets. Derek
I
Carr.
thought you said Giants.
No, no, I said
That's a little bit
Jets.
more fancy.
Yeah, because we both agree the Jets need to upgrade
Ooh.
a quarterback. That is the one quarterback, the only one quarterback. I think that the Jets
I
should
you
give
see,
up.
I think the Jets are going full in on Mike White this offseason. I think they're
Shut
buying
up.
into the
Shut
juice.
up.
I think
No,
I
no.
think they want Mike White. I think they want him to be their future. I don't think he is, but how beautiful a story of it.
If that's what they want to be their future, I hope they never win another game. If that's what they want their future to be, imagine Derek Carr leading you to the Super Bowl.
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
That's two major
he is
predictions that
a
I know aren't
Super.
going to
He
happen.
is a Super Bowl quarterback.
Yep, he is. He is.
100%. And he's similar. I think he's going to have a similar legacy to like the Lions. I think he's going to be year 10, 11, 12 with still with the Raiders. I don't think they move him. I don't think they're going to get a good enough offer to really move on. uh, for Derek Carr being willing to be traded. Um, that uh, that he really stays there, and then he goes to the front office, and then he gets to be traded to enter the Super Bowl needing quarterback, whatever that's going to be. Team
New
will
York Jets,
trade for him,
baby.
and he's going to go win a Super Bowl.
It's the New York Jets. I'm calling it right now. The Jets and the Colts make two major trades.
Yeah, maybe they go with Mike White this next few years, and Mike White takes them to a Super Bowl similar to the Rams, and then in a few years that happens, but I don't think it's going to happen this year.
How much you want to bet Mike White never sees the playoffs? I'm including this year.
I'll bet you a lunch.
I'm fine with that. That's how like I like
Oh,
Mike White. I like
just
Mike
this
White.
with this year,
With this year, I
or
will
we're talking
include.
complete future.
I will include
He-
this year that Mike White.
Okay, does he have to be a starter?
That's what I'm about to say. Barring Mike White has to start the rest of the season. So if let's say he goes on a two-game
Okay.
terrible stretch and they restart Zach Wilson, bets over.
Hmm.
We both lose. Like, bets over. If
Okay,
he starts
that's a
the re-
push.
if he starts the rest of the season and they make the playoffs, I will buy you lunch. And in the
Yeah.
future, if Mike White ever goes to the playoffs with the New York Jets as their full-time starter for the entire season, I will buy you five
Okay.
lunches. I will buy you five lunches if he starts next season and goes to the playoffs with the Jets. I will give you five
Yep.
lunches. Because I
I'll take
know
that.
I
That's good.
know it's not happening. I know it's not happening. For your
It's
sake, I
probably
hope it.
not.
For your sake, I hope it happens. But man, I know they're not gonna start Mike White for 17 games next year.
Not next. No, I don't think they'll start him for the whole season. We'll see. I don't know.
You just said they're going full ride Mike White
Oh, I
this
think
off
they
season.
want to. I don't. I personally wouldn't. I don't believe in Mike White. I said I think the Jets believe in Mike White,
That's what I'm
and
saying.
they
Is
want
that
him to be.
you think the
That's
Jets are
different
gonna
than
go
me
full in?
thinking.
No, no, you think the Jets are gonna do that though. You think the Jets
Yeah.
love him so
No,
much.
100%. I think.
So
I
you
think
think
that,
the
but I don't
Jets
think he'll
want
be
him to
the
start?
season.
You think the Jets want him to start all 17 games next year, and he's good
I
enough
think
to
they
start
will up
17
until
games?
like week 8 or week 9, once they realize, oh crap, he's actually not the
Oh crap!
guy.
We could have had Derek Carr.
Yeah, I
I'm,
think that's what's gonna happen, but we'll see.
yeah, I will. I will include this season that Mike White will not lead them to the playoffs. Let me see this. New
That's fair.
York Jets. I want to see what the remaining schedule for. They got Lions. That's a loss.
Yeah.
So they would then be what's their record? So then they're fourth right now already in the AFC
Yeah.
East. They're seven
Hmm.
and six. They're about to be 7-7.
Hmm.
The Jags. That's a winnable game. That's a winnable game.
They'll probably
Se-
win that.
Seahawks Dolphins. They end the season on.
I think they'll beat the Dolphins, lose to Seattle.
So they're what 8-9, 9-8 team.
Yeah.
In the
The,
AFC,
I think they can make that.
you might make the playoffs with that. But I'm a
Mm,
okay betting a lunch that he will not
yeah.
lead them to the playoffs this year. No, he'll play good, but I
Yeah.
just don't think he'll be a playoff caliber guy. But
Yeah.
I
No,
feel
I think
confident.
at some point Mike White will be a playoff quarterback
I'm fine with that
in
statement.
his future.
I'm
Yeah.
okay with that statement. I was not okay with the. I think the Jets they think that he's caliber and that he's just start the
No,
whole
I
next
think they are.
season.
I think they think that he is.
I agree
I
with you.
think
I
they've
think they
bought
do
in.
think. I think they bought in as well.
I
I
think
do.
they think he's not, but I think they think he is.
I completely agree. I think they bought into the Mike White love because his teammates are even saying they
Hmm.
love Mike White.
Dude, the whole team, I think the whole city has fallen in love with Mike White. They're gonna churn quick. It's New York, but
Oh no, yeah, no.
it's
Two
fun,
a
right?
two game losing streak where he plays bad.
uh,
Get him out.
yeah,
Get him out.
yeah.
But that
They
was.
they wanted Eli Manning, a borderline Hall of Famer, out week by week. Like, come on.
I mean, who didn't
Yeah.
want him out? But that
The
was
New York Giants.
that was the buy
Eli Manning.
sell that was the buy sell hold segment. Our last segment
Hmm.
of the day is twofold. We'll be talking about Kyler Murray tearing his ACL
Yep.
and just athletic dual threat quarterbacks, their injury risk. So Kyler
Hmm.
Murray did tear his ACL yesterday, 12-12 on Monday Night
He did.
Football. Um, again, I did
On the
not
first
watch.
drive, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I didn't watch a single bit of that game. Dear God, I saw
Yeah,
that trash
I
game
didn't
from a
either.
mile away. Um, please,
Yeah, which it
NFL's
actually turned out to be a good game, but
yeah NFL
um,
schedule team, you gotta do better, man. I am so clocked out of prime time.
mhm.
I haven't watched a full prime time game in weeks. It's been
It
bad.
should have been a good game though. It That's where I give the NFL some like breaks. Is a lot of the games that have been stinkers should have been going into the season good games. Like the Cardinals were borderline playoff, if not some people's Super Bowl picks.
Well, they were
Putting them
wrong.
in prime time was a good decision.
I I
But
I, I would have never picked the Cardinals to even win more than 8 games.
yeah,
I think
no,
that
I don't disagree with you. And yeah. So yeah, him being injured, it's real sad. It's sad when a young quarterback of his talent, I think he might be done. We saw a similar injury with Robert Griffin, and he never was the same after that. Um, he never was able to recapture his rookie season talent in his rookie. Now that being said, I think the Cardinals will handle the situation better than the Redskins did at that time. Now the Commanders, but um, his work ethic, I don't buy into the fact that I think he comes back and he's just not as good and he ends up getting benched in 2 or 3 years. Um, just because I think he's going to lose that mobility factor. Um, and he can be a good quarterback, but I don't think he buys in enough in the offseason. I don't think he's talented enough and big enough to not have that run factor. And it's sad, but I think we might have seen a missed opportunity of a great player.
yeah. I mean, he was one of the best dual threat quarterbacks before the
Yeah.
injury. Thankfully, Lamar Jackson has not been limited by that injury. Thankfully, Justin
Mm-mm.
Fields has not been limited by that injury. Thankfully, Josh Allen
Mm-hmm.
has not been limited by that injury. But
Yeah.
sadly, we have seen a lot of people be limited by the injury.
Yeah. Wide
Now,
receivers, quarterbacks. Yeah.
thankfully,
The thing is, yeah. Go ahead.
thankfully, ACL and Achilles injuries are easy to come back from now. I mean, look at
Mm-hmm.
Cam Akers last
To a
year.
point.
Like
Yeah.
he was 5 months
This is the
off.
thing. When you look at anyone that's come back from those injuries, though, they have the work ethic of madmen. They work at it so hard. That's where I kind of sell on Kyler Murray now. I don't think he's 100% done. I'm not saying he's never going to have a comeback. I'm just saying I don't think he's bought into being an NFL quarterback. I don't think it's his drive and his passion anymore. I think he's doing it because of the money, and he's already made his money. So what does he have to push through that pain and stuff to come back?
Yeah, and like that's
So
like Kevin Durant. He tore his Achilles,
yeah,
missed an entire season of basketball. But then
yep,
same with Klay Thompson. He missed 2 seasons of basketball with 2 different Achilles
mm-hmm,
injuries. Cam
yep,
Akers comes back 5 months later. You
yep,
need like even within a year, like within a year time, medicine
yep.
gets just better every single year. Odell
It is.
Odell probably could
Mm-hmm,
have played sooner if he want. I mean, I guess he was
mm-hmm,
medically cleared in November, but he didn't want to come
yep.
back yet. But like, if Odell was
He wasn't
20,
ready. Yeah.
yeah, if Odell was 24 years old and not 31, who's already gone through
Mm-hmm,
a torn ACL and already gone through so
yeah,
many injuries, he could have done a Cam Akers and come back 5 months later.
yeah, 100%.
So like, Kyler
Yeah.
Murray, yes, can. What what really matters is how he comes back from this.
Does
Russ, when he
Can he come back? Yes.
will he is
Will
the
he come
question.
back? I don't think he will. Yeah.
Yeah, when Russell Wilson injured his hip, he came back a completely different player. He had to change
Yep.
his game. What
Yep.
we had to see from
And he
Kyler
did and was
Murray,
successful.
yeah, what we had to see from Kyler Murray is will he take the same steps that Russ did and becoming more of
Hmm.
a pocket passer who does scramble a
Yep.
little bit, but he relies
Still
on his
mobile.
arm.
Hmm.
And he has an arm. Like Kyler Murray does have an
Yeah.
arm.
He
It,
does. 100%. He can still be an NFL quarterback
it's
and a
just
very good one.
yeah, because like especially with the way he throws, like
Hmm.
since he's so compact, his throwing motion is so quick. Like
Yeah.
he can turn his body so quickly because he's so used to
He's
baseball.
twitchy. Yeah.
Yeah, like, and he used to pitch. So like I'll always say,
Hmm.
if you're a pitcher, go play football as well.
Yeah.
Be a dual threat. Be a dual sport player. If you're a
Hmm.
pitcher, you gotta play quarterback because both
Yep.
games will teach you things about the other game.
Hmm.
Uh, I think
And
if
you have a more of a chance breaking out into the NFL than you do in the MLB
yeah, because especially when
to
you're a
get
quarterback,
millions.
when you slide,
Hmm.
they're legit. They send quarterbacks to sliding school.
They do.
They have local
Hmm.
players come work with
They have
quarterbacks.
local MLB teams work. The Chicago Cubs came in and taught Justin Field a few things.
which is
this
crazy. Which
offseason.
is crazy to me because I mean
Hmm.
I grew up playing baseball, so I guess to
Yeah.
me it is crazy. These guys didn't
Hmm.
come playing baseball when they were kids, but if you
Yeah.
play baseball, you learn how to slide. That then helps you on
Hmm.
the football field, and vice
It
versa.
does.
There's things you learn. So I think it'll be very
Hmm.
interesting to see how Kyler Murray comes back. I think he does have a chance to come back and be good. I still think he'll be
Hmm.
the same player he was before injury.
I think he has a chance to come back and be great. What I hope happens for Kyler Murray's sake and for the NFL's sake, he's been a fun player to watch. What I hope happens is this is a wake up call for him, and he now buys into the NFL and he buys into this career.
Yeah,
He realized NFL stands for not for long, and he buys in and sells out and goes hard and comes back. That's what I hope. What I think is actually going to happen is he'll come back mid-year next year. He'll be, 75% of what he was. Next year, he'll be about the same, and he'll kind of continue down that path until he's eventually a backup and out of the league.
yeah, and obviously no one wants that out of any player. We all want everyone to
No.
play the best they
Mm.
can because
Yep.
when they play the best they can, we have good games to watch,
Yeah, we have
and they
good
make
games
good
to watch,
money.
and he's been a fun player to watch. Kind of moving off Kyler Murray because we kind of covered that. The thing we kind of end on the topic of like mobile quarterbacks in general. Like we kind of had a hybrid, Robert Griffin, Michael Vick there for many years there in Philadelphia. We were kind of moving towards a mobile quarterback league. And that's what people were looking for. Even our two best quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen, are mobile. Um, they're not by any means rushing. I mean, Josh Allen, you could kind of make the argument that he is, but he runs more out of necessity than I think he does want to. Um, but the league is definitely becoming more of that rushing prototype, and we're seeing the injuries rack up with the quarterbacks. Josh Allen's hurt this season. Patrick Mahomes got hurt a few seasons ago when he was rushing around a bunch. Yeah, Kyler Murray now. Robert Griffin's completely out of the league now. He was so talented. He had an amazing arm. He had really good legs. He was so crazy, dual threat. Cam Newton, uh, completely done. He's 32, 31. Like, there's four quarterbacks in this league right now that are older than him, and he's not even on an NFL team. And he was crazy. His 2015 season, I would put up against any quarterback season. He had probably one of the best, if not the best, quarterback season of all time. He was crazy, rushing, passing. You're seeing these mobile quarterbacks, they don't last more than 10 years. This is a Bears fan. I'm terrified for Justin Fields. I'm terrified for any other quarterback, Lamar Jackson, any of these quarterbacks. It terrifies me if they can't transition kind of like Russ did, like Nick talked about and touched on a little bit later. Um, it's fun to watch, but it doesn't last for long. And we've seen the platform for how you play 20 years. It's the Tom Brady, it's the Peyton Mannings, it's the Brett Favre's that end up being Ironmans and playing until their 20th season. It's not the mobile quarterbacks. So I really hope Justin Fields and some of these quarterbacks, for the sake of their health and for the sake of longevity, learn to stay in that pocket and only move when you have to. Don't just use it as a offensive style.
Yeah, Mike Vick is only the real dual threat quarterback not to suffer a like major injury to his legs.
Yeah,
Which
yeah,
is I wish we would have gotten to see a full Michael Vick with Atlanta.
yeah.
I wish he wouldn't have done all that crazy crap.
Hmm.
Wish he wouldn't have gone to
Hmm.
jail.
He made a mistake. Hmm.
Yeah, and I'm happy that the NFL world and the media is accepting him again. He's on TV now.
Yeah.
Like I'm happy that
He
he's doing
is.
stuff.
He's 100. He had a turnaround, and I think he 100% should. He learned his lesson. He did the justice system worked with him,
Yeah, he did his time.
essentially.
He did his
Yeah,
time.
he did his time, and he's like, I made a mistake. I 100% regret it. I would take it back if I could. I can't. I'm gonna live the best life that I can. He gives now millions to foundations now for saving dogs that are in dog fighting. I don't. A lot of people don't know about that, but he's now donated millions of dollars into donate charities like that that save dogs and stuff, which is I find really cool.
Yeah, and I think that more dual threat quarterbacks need to model because Michael Vick had a monster arm. Like
He did,
it wasn't like an elite arm, but it was still like he
mm-mm.
could throw 65, 70 yards accurately.
Which you don't
Um,
need more than that.
yeah, you don't need more than that.
Yeah.
So like and like he definitely could run, but it
Yes.
wasn't like with me. I love Lamar Jackson. My only
Hmm.
problem with him is that he runs too much. Like
He's a run first, throw second quarterback.
yeah, I'm all for Lamar Jackson running the ball. I am. But
Yes.
when like it is almost 50% of the plays,
Yeah.
that's why I get angry.
Hmm.
I'm like, guys, you gotta preserve him. Like,
You're not preserving. Yeah, you're not preserving your future. You're making him a 10-year deal. You're thinking very narrow-minded. Um, I get it when they're young. Like I'm not mad at the Bears for running Justin Fields. One, that's the only offense that they've been able to produce this year.
exactly.
Um, but I'm not mad at it because he's young. He can recover fast, and I'm not worried about his future right now. What I'm saying is, I'm still fine with the quarterback rushing for 400 yards. I'm still fine with him rushing for 500 yards. Having 20, 30 actual running plays a season. Um, Obviously, you're going to scramble out and have different things. Aaron Rodgers is a perfect quarterback to really compare to. He could have been a Russian quarterback. He had the talent to be that, but he wasn't. He stayed in the pocket. He stayed out. Russell Wilson's another really good. Uh, After his transition, I think he shows more. I think Aaron Rodgers was a really good example, but I think Russell Wilson's the perfect. He was 100% a Russian quarterback when he came into this league, and then he got hurt and realized, hey, I want to play until I'm 40. I can't play this way. Let me transition to a more of a throwing archetype, and now he's been successful and still successful even with the Broncos, even though he's not been that successful with them. But I don't think that's him. I think that's their coach. But you really saw, especially in his later years with Seattle, still being successful and still being a borderline Super Bowl team.
Yeah, yeah. That's my worry.
Hmm.
With just dual threat quarterbacks is just
Yeah,
can you transition? Because
we've seen
again,
two this year.
yeah,
Well, three with if you count the uh Ravens quarterback. I just
Lamar.
slipped the name Lamar Jackson. Um, with Kyler Murray, the 49ers quarterback. I'm tired. It's
Trey
late.
Lance.
I forgot Trey Lance and uh now with Kyler Murray, we've had three mobile quarterbacks go down this year that I can think of. There might even be more than I'm not thinking of at the moment.
That's why I worry about Jalen Hurts. I'm like, Jalen, you literally have two of the best receivers in the league. You have one
This
of the
is
best running
where,
games in the
yeah,
league. You have the best offensive
hmm
line in the league. Why are you
this is
running the
where,
ball?
yeah, this is where the NFL needs to intervene. They need to have in this offseason, I think they will, but I think the owners and the head coaches and everyone need to sit down and they need to start re-scheming some of their plays, whether it's with legislation being passed or with um, something. They need to protect these quarterbacks and
Well,
not allow them to do what they're doing now because you're ruining their lives.
I saw a video with the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan more specifically.
Hmm.
His entire career, he has the same play where he runs
Hmm.
the player up the middle of the O line. It's just
Yeah.
part of his offense. Trey Lance got
Hmm.
hurt doing it. Debo Samuel
Yeah.
got hurt doing it. Brandon Ayuk got
Hmm.
hurt doing it. Every single running back has gotten hurt doing it. And in
Hmm.
Atlanta, Matt Ryan missed a game because he did it.
Yes.
The running backs missed
Hmm.
games because they did it. Uh,
Hmm.
Mohamed Sanu missed 2 games because he did it.
Yeah.
Like you can track Kyle Shanahan's career. He
Hmm.
causes injuries because he wants to hand the ball off to a non-running
It
back
works.
and run it up the middle,
Yeah.
and it does work.
It works.
But then,
And
but then
that's
you can
where
track
that's
that, that
yeah.
it causes injuries. Like, cool, you got two
Yeah.
yards. We got like what, maybe 10 yards a game because of it. But you
Yeah.
cause an
Well,
injury
and
every
here's the
season.
thing. Yeah, and that's not you're gambling with people's lives at that point. And you don't need a quarterback to run up the middle, have your running back do it.
Yeah,
But even then, I'm not a fan of straight up the middle running. I'm a fan of in between the right guard and the right tackle running, or the left guard and the left tackle running. So you still have that a little protection off those real huge 400-pound defensive tackles are in the middle still, so you're not getting hit by those guys as much, and you still have the outside to run and kind of move in, but you're still having that pull in like we talked about earlier. Your quarterback should not be running against 400-pound defensive linemen.
yep.
What are you doing?
That's
What you don't care about your quarterback at that point.
Yeah, that's my
Yeah.
problem with Kyle Shanahan, is that
Mm-hmm.
you actively are putting Debo
Yeah.
Samuel 190, Trey Lance
Mm-hmm.
maybe 190 200, Jimmy Garoppolo
Yeah.
215 220, your running
Yeah.
backs Elijah Mitchell
And
180, maybe 180. Everybody you're going up against,
that's a good
like,
point.
like
Yeah.
Vita Vea is 380 pounds,
Hmm.
and you're having Debo Samuel, your number one receiver, 195 pounds wet, running right into him, where then he falls
Yeah.
on Debo Samuel. Trey Lance
Hmm.
is maybe 200 pounds. He might be a
Yeah.
little. He might be a little bigger,
And
but
listen, a lot of players in this league don't hit quarterbacks hard. They know that that's their league. That's if you hurt a quarterback, um, it hurts the league, and therefore it hurts them because they get paid less because there's less viewership and blah blah blah. It, they get it. They understand the game. They understand how it works. But you do have players that do not care, and they're going to go for that quarterback's head. They're gonna go. You have players like Sue. You have players that play dirty, and they're gonna step on the quarterback. They're gonna break his ribs. They're gonna do whatever they can to hurt that quarterback. And so you're risking too much.
yeah, I completely agree. But we got to
Yeah.
wrap up. This is a 2.5 hour episode. We got to wrap up. But
Yeah.
yeah,
No, I
I'm
agree.
happy that we agree on that.
Hmm.
Because honestly,
Yeah.
because last week we even talked about it a little bit. I didn't
Hmm.
really agree, but seeing Kyler Murray, I'm like, bro, like,
Hmm.
there's no
Yeah.
disagreeing anymore.
It's time to start passing some legislation and some rules and rethinking some of how we do the NFL.
Yeah, not gonna
But
happen, sadly. But I wish it
no,
would.
I
I
hope it
wish it
does
would.
though. I think it might. I think it might once more quarterbacks get hurt, and it shouldn't take that. We've had enough, but
Yeah.
we'll see. But
But thank
been
you
a
guys for
good week.
watching. Yeah, it was a fun episode. If you guys are watching all the way through and you're actually sat here for 2.5 hours, we love you. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
We'll be back next week and every week from now on. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to be notified when we post next. And go click our links in the description below. Follow
Yes,
us on
please.
all of our links. Go follow Aaron on his merch. Go buy some
Yep.
shirts from Aaron. We'll see you guys next week. Peace and bye.